Is Janet from another planet? 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 Is Janet from another planet?
LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome.
Well, I'm so sorry. Why can't I ever fix that?
We are pro streamers. It's okay. It is tonight. We've got a guy, a girl, a guy, and a movie. We're featuring the movie Constantine, and we are featuring our friend, delayed by 1 week, but he did accept my apology, and I appreciate that. The Crafting Gamer. Sir, how are you tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Fantastic. Janet, how are you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
I'm really good. Just trying to make sure my wings don't stab me on my back of my chair.
If need be, what we will do, we'll get the remains, the embers from the popcorn fire, and we'll start them on your wings, and that way you'll just have little nubs like at the very end of the movie.
Yeah, that was really cool. The whole scene was really
cool.
awesome.
Very cool. Crafting Gamer, you were supposed to be here last week. We'd done a stream right before this last week, and I didn't even. Bad and I were like, okay, blah blah blah. We started talking about Tremors, and you were there in chat. We're all chatting up, and just 3 hours, 3.5 hours goes by. It feels like it might be 4. I don't know. It was a long stream, and afterwards I'm like, uh-oh, I fucked up. And let me pin an apology real quick. I'm really sorry about this. I fouled up. I should have had you on the stream with us because that's what you want to talk about was Tremors. Before we start our talk on Constantine tonight, I'm going to give you the floor for about 5, if you don't mind, like 5 minutes. Would that be okay? If you want to add something about last stream from Tremors?
Yeah, go ahead and fill us in on what your take was going to be, at least.
Shoot.
Then we'll get into Constantine, and this is going to be a long stream, so don't worry.
Yeah. We'll start with why I wanted to do Tremors. I wanted to do Tremors because it is a movie I grew up on, and it's a movie I think more people should see. Like Janet said throughout the whole movie, look at all those practical effects. Isn't that awesome? And, like, it, I have to agree. They are totally awesome. It's to this day one of my absolute favorite movies, and I believe even with how, for lack of a better term, primitive a lot of the effects were, I think the effects still hold up to modern day. Yes, it could be done better, but they're still really good effects. And another reason why I love this movie is the storyline itself. Like, they don't explain why the gravoids attack slowly, but I always took it as they got hungry slowly. Like, especially, like, a little bit of a spoiler, I'm not going to say what happens, but in the fourth movie they explain why very well why the gravoids attack slowly in the first movie, and I love that.
It wouldn't be. I would think that they would be attacking slowly because of a biological reason.
Pretty much.
That movie came out in 1990. When was your first viewing of it?
Oh man, I literally as far back as I can remember, because I was born in 91, so I could have seen it anytime, and my parents did not shy away with such movies for me. I seen Alien when I was like 4 or 5, so I could have seen it just about any time.
My parents would never have done that for me.
I didn't have nightmares.
I had nightmares of Alien. I had stupid nightmares, but that's I grew up during that time period, and that's just how it is. I mean, as I got older, things, I didn't watch The Thing nearly as much as I do now. I would only imagine if I would have seen that when I was a young kid and actually actively watched it and watched everything going apart there in that facility. That would have been so cool. My bad.
Yeah, I didn't have nightmares because of movies like that. I don't remember really having a memory of a real nightmare until I watched Jaws, because I did snorkel a lot and stuff like that. And I remember after that, I was petrified. Every time I'd swim, where you go out to the sandbar out there, I couldn't do it anymore because of the darkness underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And you got your mask on, you're looking down, and you wouldn't know if it was coming for you until it was too late and you're taken up out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I feel like that with any deep water.
Well, that was one of the only movies I remember when I first started having nightmares from something I watched on a screen. That was scary.
Yeah.
So with the first Tremors movie, would you say it leads into a good cohesive narrative for all the films that would be recommended for people that enjoy movies that excel with practical effects?
Yes, up to the 5th or 6th movie, they went, I think it's the 6th and 7th movies, they went really heavily with digital. And though the 6th movie, yeah, I think it's the 6th movie. No, I'm thinking a different movie. No, so that would be the 5th movie went heavy with practical effects. The 6th movie went pretty well with a lot of practical effects. Or no, 5th movie special effects. Sorry, and the 7th movie does almost nothing but CGI. So I'd say it starts off strong with his practical effects, but it really starts relying heavily on CGI.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that kind of is modern Hollywood right there in a nutshell. I really love this movie, but the characters that are in the first film, what was there something that you got out of the interactions between Earl and Val?
Yes, it, especially as a kid, it made me feel like that's the kind of relationship I want with at least one other dude. It's like, we are such good friends that it's practically stupid. And I've never had that relationship with anybody, but I think it would actually be pretty awesome to have that relationship with at least somebody, male or female. And it really felt like like Janet said, it didn't feel like it was faked. It felt like it felt
Yeah,
like
it was more realistic the way that they were able to make it come. Still talking about we're still talking about Tremors, right?
yes.
Okay, about like I was talking about how they built the sets up off the ground, and they were
Yeah.
able to make the ground shake, and the thought of something coming up from under the earth under your feet, because everyone has to walk,
Uh-huh.
so the thought of something actually reaching up from underground and grabbing you and pulling you down in to eat you, like one of those giant, what were those things that I was talking about, the big sand hole,
Shai-Hulud.
and it had the ant eater underneath, a big ant with giant pincher things. I can't remember what it was called, but those things I thought were so scary, that something like that could exist underground. And once you fell in, you weren't able to get up out. Wasn't it Galaxy Quest where he was in one of those holes? Or no, that was Enemy Mine. Remember, Bruce, when we did that, and that thing sent that tentacle up and grabbed his leg and was pulling him in, and you could have nothing to hold on to because everything is made to push you down into the mouth of the creature. So that, to me, things like that are scarier to me than a fantasy, alien or vampires and werewolves and stuff, because I know they're not real, but it's scary in a funner way, to where I'm like, creeped out, and its special effects are really good. Like American Werewolf in London was one of the only scary movies that I remember watching that really made me frightened, because it looked actual possible, the way that they made the creature change. I think it was nominated for Academy Award, or did win something for special effects.
I honestly felt the
American Werewolf in London
was cheesy.
The transition part where he actually changed, and you could see the hair growing on him, and his mouth going out, and his teeth coming out. It was absolutely horrifying to me to watch him transform, even though I knew it wasn't real. The detail that went into it just made it so realistic. It was very hard. I would never let a kid watch that movie.
And they're shoving the hairs in and then drawing the hairs out and getting footage of that to where you can watch the transformation. And that the Howling is Rob Bottin. Rick Baker was American Werewolf in London. That's like those two movies there are just happy day. I'm sorry, Nerdy Ogre.
Yeah, Nerdy
The
Ogre.
reason why we're talking about Constantine is last week I was supposed to have this man here with us to talk about Tremors, but I'm giving him his redemption, and I apologize about not having him on here. I can't apologize enough. I can't thank him enough for doing what he did with us, and for him to allow himself to come on here and talk about a movie which he didn't pick, which is Constantine, but I want him to talk at least a little bit about Tremors. So
yeah.
The practical effects you really like. I'm big on Reba McEntire's character in this movie. Like if I'm ever feeling not so manly, I just watch this film and let her be a prepper, and about a half hour later I'm good to go. She's the perfect 1990s woman. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know. My dad fell in love with Reba McEntire in this film. So anyway, with that, with the ending of the movie, the way it was set up, and the way this giant tube worm just kind of splatters everywhere, and you see like ravioli or Chef Boyardee sauce just goes splatter everywhere. What was when you watched it for the first time? What was your thoughts? Do you remember?
As a kid, my very first thought was, that looks like a penis.
It does.
You don't make that. You don't make that connection when you see it on the dirt, but when it comes out the cliff, it's like, yeah,
it still has its sweater on. Yeah, I get it.
Well,
that right there is just
it's a scary penis with that gross looking thing that opens up as a mouth with those little. It's got some kind of disease.
Well, I know plenty of women who would love that as being how males are set up.
Not me. I don't want one that can eat me from the inside out. That's gross. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Our Japanese viewership is going to go up because of this.
Oh no, that's terrible. But yeah, but you're thinking about that was really scary to me. The way that they were able to make the thing open like that, but like a beak almost, like the inside of a octopus,
Yeah.
or a squid's mouth. It was really creepy and disgusting. I just like the detail they did on it because it looked like it could have been from a documentary. Some of the parts of it when it came out, like the part that really creeped me out from that was when she broke the water line and the water was puddling on the ground, and it came and you got to see the veiny lines and stuff on those tongue things that came out, and with those horns on the sides of their head like a pit viper type thing. That was the creepiest to me scene, to see it clean, not dirty from all the dirt being on it.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. It was creepy at that part to me.
This movie here in 1990 is probably one of my favorite movies of that year. Probably definitely in my top 3 for 1990. I don't even remember 1990 being a strong year for movies. 91 was great. 89 was great. 90 was like Oreo should be a delicious sandwich of more good stuff, but it's just kind of like vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
You have trimmers. That's about it. Now that we've done that, we will probably in the future want to talk about Trimmers 2 and maybe 3 later on. I think those would be really good selections. Tonight's movie is Constantine,
Mm-hmm.
and it stars Keanu Reeves, Tilda Swinton, quite a few other great actors and actresses in this film. Anytime you have the young miss from the Mummy films, anytime you have Rachel Weisz that's in a movie, I'm probably going to watch it. She stole your heart in the first Mummy movie by being a demure little librarian that turned badass in the Mummy Part 2. And the Mummy Part 3, she had no character arc that she saw for a reason for her to show up, so they put in Maria Bello instead. And that was kind of a slap in the face to us fans that liked that movie, that movie family. I love Maria Bello. She was great in Coyote Ugly. She did great in Payday. She was good in what's that one? The Pennsylvania Amish mafia film. There's one where she plays just a wife, and she doesn't even understand what she's married to. Her husband's got some seriously terrible deep secrets.
I don't know which one you're talking about. Sorry.
We'll watch it later. It's a Cronenberg movie, and God, is it dark. You have Djimon Hounsou as he's Papa Midnight. Shia LaBeouf as fairly, actually not a bad character in this movie. This is the first movie I've seen LaBeouf in where I'm not wanting to punch him through the theater screen. Did you see this in the theaters, Janet?
Yeah, I think I did. I think I saw this at the movie theaters, and I'm really glad I did, because some of these scenes, to me, it took a comic book and made it into real life. That's how I could. It wasn't like when you saw Batman and you had the Joker and he looked just like he was in the comic book to me. And Jack Nicholson played him, the Joker. It was comical and very comic bookish, but Constantine wasn't. It was I think it was the director was named Francis Lawrence. He was making music videos before he made this, and you could tell the really cool effects in the background when he goes to hell, with the constant blowing of heat and flames and soot, and the creatures that are crawling around, and which were people, I guess, demons and people just tortured, tortured souls. But it's very, I don't know how to explain it, but you could definitely tell it was very music video looking to me from what I remember watching when MTV first started. All the extra, it seemed like they just spent huge amounts of money making videos and making them so unique, like the one where the guys or the woman's looking at a drawing on paper and it's moving a little bit and it starts to move, and the next he reaches out and grabs her and pulls her into the comic book. Yeah, take on me. That's it. But uniqueness like that, okay, is what I took from this. Okay, to me, it didn't hurt the movie because it wasn't exactly like the comic book. It was like they took what was the story was about and made it real. They took it and made it into a real life situation. At least that's how it came across to me. And the special effects were I just loved it. I just couldn't believe how realistic it was. Like when he puts his feet in the water, okay, to have some way of cooling off and keeping from getting overheated, and had the cat. He was using the cat to go to another plane, to another dimension or whatever you want to call it. I just thought all of that was just genius. And I just thought the vision of the director was spot on for me to be drawn in immediately to his character, because it doesn't build up to anything. You don't have the whole story beforehand or anything. You just, all of a sudden he's on scene and you see what he does. And then throughout his arc in the movie, you learn about him, who he is, his background and things like that. But you care about him and you want to find out more simply because of the way of the special effects and stuff. I think that it just draws you in. I think everybody's drawn into it because of that.
I like the set design, and I think the director of photography needs. I really hope they made some serious awards with the photography in this movie. That's like above and beyond. My favorite part of this film is how this movie was photographed and how they did the transitions from the real world to hell and back again. Cracking Gamer, did you see this movie in theaters?
No, I've only seen one movie in theaters, and that was the Simpsons movie. And I do not regret that because of one scene. If you were in the theater, the mad scientist flies by with a banner at the very beginning of the movie and says, "Simpsons movie on the big screen." Like, I'm so glad I've seen the movie just for that one scene.
Oh, I'm glad
that's
you got
the only
to see
one I've
that.
seen.
What movie was that?
The Simpsons.
The Simpson movie, and he said, "Oh, you can see my doodle." And it is covered up by things the whole time he's going down on the thing on the skateboard naked. You're talking about that movie, right? Oh, he's froze up, I think. I don't know.
Oh, me?
Are you
Cracking
froze up?
Gamer,
Yeah, I was talking to you. I was talking to you,
Bruce,
Gamer.
You
Wasn't
realize you're
that the
changing
movie?
mine, right?
I realize that, but there's a few chips on here I'm going to fix first.
Oh, okay. Chips?
Oh.
Man, I thought I was more careful than that.
It's all right.
But I really thought that the director went above and beyond to portray Constantine and what he was dealing with on a daily basis, and the fact that because of what he's been doing for so many years, he knew that something wasn't right, because it was more certain types of demons that were appearing more and more regular that normally you would never see, very, very rare. So that I thought was very intriguing.
Yeah.
The way they handled all that.
Oh, slight interruption. Almost forgot. Bruce, I forgot to take pictures of that particular of the Skeletor I painted. If you wouldn't mind taking pictures and putting them on Discord, I would then put the listing of the paints and inks I used, and in what combination, since I had to mix a couple colors to get the skin.
That'll work.
They're making another Constantine movie.
Part 2, they've got stills already out. Stills are
Is
released.
it going to be Is it going to be the Keanu in it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, oh my goodness!
I'll check it out at the
I'm
library.
actually going to look forward to watching.
Yeah, I'll check it out if I check it for free first, and if I like it, I'll buy it.
But yeah, I just thought the setup of him and how and his relationship with Gabriel was like he's talked to Gabriel many, many times over the years and argued with them. And you could tell instantly the character of Gabriel was jealous. He had disdain for humans, even though he was forced to go there. And he felt it was his duty or their duty, because there's not really a male or female for angels, that it was their duty to teach men and women to respect God. And this was their point of view of how they were going to make mankind suffer enough to where when they decided to do something for God, that they meant it and that they earned it. They earned the right to have a soul, basically. So that whole thing was very intriguing about how that aspect of the point of view from Gabriel on us, and how selfish we were, and how we were so flippant about having a soul and how it was no big deal, and Gabriel didn't like that. So who are you waving at?
Grumpy old Ninja Kintaro.
Oh, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Always did love their name.
He's a great guy. I've had him on channel a few times. He's an artist. He'll tell you all the time, I'm not a good artist. Bullshit. I wish I could draw like you.
Every artist thinks that they could be better. That if I just did this a little different, I did that a little better, maybe I'd get better, but that's just the way it is. I mean, every artist, no matter what you are, a painter, a musician, an actor, a sculptor, anything, it's not good enough. It's never going to be right. So. Yeah.
Well, speaking of self-critical artists,
yes,
does the bust I make look like it's wet? Like it's wet in the rain? Like that's why the purple is uneven and the face has drips on it. It's meant to look as if it's wet from being in a fight with He-Man in the rain.
It looks like Skeletor has been in the precipitation a little bit.
Because that's what I was aiming for.
It has that authentic, like, wet look to it. I am going to hit it with another clear coat because you have a couple chips here, and I think the more I handle it, the worse it's going to get.
Well, I only put one on because I'm not familiar with this clear coat. Next time I do it, next time I color cut something, I'll make sure to put on at least 2 coats.
This is a good bridge between matte and glossy. Okay. I don't know if you have this.
No, actually, I will. Give me a second, and I will show you what I have.
Yeah, Wolfden Media is a great artist. He's a good guy. Mm-hmm. I've been on his channel about 3 months ago. Had a good crew of people there.
But I just want to tell everyone in the chat that we were talking about, Bruce and I were talking about some other things, and he was going on about how he didn't like Shia LaBeouf and how he ruined Transformers and some other things. So I asked him, had Bruce seen Constantine? Because I thought Shia LaBeouf did a great job as an actor in this movie, as portraying his up and coming apprentice and all the shit that he put up with to be able to have that position, because he really wanted to fight demons and save people, save people's souls, because he really believed in God, and he believed in what, God, the gift that God had given us, which is a soul, and to work towards a chance to one day when we die to go to heaven. And
Yeah.
I just thought he did a really good job. But that's the reason why I picked this movie for us to watch, because I really wanted to hear what Bruce thought once he got to watch this movie, because he had never seen it before. So I just wanted everybody to know why I chose this movie in the first place.
Okay.
Slightly off subject once more.
The first scene of this movie where they have the guy digging up the spear point in Mexico,
Mhm.
and
Spear of Destiny.
it's the spear point from the Spear of Destiny, and it pierced the side of Christ, and that pretty much is the start of this film. It's a really interesting film, and as a guy that I've played a lot of Wolfenstein games, okay, so if you
Mhm.
you know the Wolfenstein game series, which is you kill Nazis and you kill Nazis that are going into occult shit. So I'm automatically into this because one of the Wolfenstein games is about the Spear of Destiny,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, that's great, cool, and like that's the only scene in the movie where you see anything Nazi-esque where anybody does any violence, and the guy gets hit by a car and the car crumples and he just keeps
Like a
on
tin
going.
can. Mhm.
Yeah, the car collapses. You know when you step on a soda can when it's laying sideways and it curls around your foot? That's how that car was. And that did such a great job of just showing how things have changed for this young man carrying the spear now, and he's basically unstoppable. And then you have the scene after that where you have the exorcism scene with your introduction to Shia LaBeouf's Chad character, and you have John introduced as well. And then you get to see a really good set of special effects as this demon tries to bust out of the mirrored trap that they lure it into. And holy cow, if that is not one of the neatest CGI stunts I've ever seen, I really enjoy it. And I from the rest of the movie, I thought I'm going to be entertained. No matter what, I'm going to be entertained. And that was me throughout this entire film. I was entertained. This is the Spirit of Longinus. Yes, it is Longinus or whatever. Spear of Destiny. We all know what we're talking about. But
Well, there might be some people that don't know what the Spear of Destiny is.
Okay.
That, you know, they might not be Catholic or whatever, or maybe they're not really into, you know, that story about Jesus dying on the cross and, you know, what he died from.
Sorry.
Very true.
That just reminded me of something from my childhood. I used to watch, because my grandma was huge into Bible stuff. I used to watch Bible stories, and they had an intro song. Bible stories, Bible stories, true story, historical stories, stories that are true, and it just sings like this whole thing about, yeah, the church can't possibly be wrong. And all of a sudden, that just reminded me of that. I don't know why.
My internet might be having
laugh.
a hard time with things, so if I have to restart my PC, it's nothing personal against anybody. I'll be back. But I'm doing a test by clicking all the things in chat, and it's stuck on Nerdy Ogre, but it's showing me Wolf 10 Media on the stream. So anyway, I really thought this movie had like the great blend of horror and had a good mix of actual drama. You do get to see Keanu act a little bit in this movie. You see him be able to interact with Chaz Kramer a bit and how they interact. He wants to protect him, and Kramer just seems to be wanting to throw himself into danger over and over and over again. That's what he wants. Hey, RPG Grandma. I think this movie is a really good way to entertain yourself. This is not a movie that you say to yourself like this is gonna solve world hunger. This is gonna fix poverty. This is a movie based on a great comic book series, and that's really, if you don't know anything else, that's just all you need to know.
Well, the the characters that they added, like his friend that brings him all the great stuff that he needs to fight demons, you know, like the dragon's breath, and the beetle, that's the screeching beetle, that a lot of certain demons don't like the sound of. Just different things that he's able to get a hold of, and the cough syrup he gave him, and then little things that Constantine would collect, like the little thing that you turn and it goes or whatever sound effects. That was I love that scene, because after you see him do that and he kind of gives that little grin, you know, because of his excitement, his childlike quality, you can't help but like this character. So you don't really know that much about him, but later on, when he perishes, you sympathy for him, and you don't want him to die, because he added something special to his character, and his sweetness and his kindness and wanting to fight evil and help him. And the whole time he's doing it, he works at a bowling alley, you know, in the back where all the little, you know, doohickeys work and move around mechanisms to pick up and the pins and straighten them back out, and to put the balls back, you know, up to where the people could use them. So I thought that whole concept was really good. So what?
Yeah, it's like I was saying last night. The priest and pretty much everybody else who dies, even Shia LaBeouf's character, you feel a small connection to him, but once you get to I can't remember his name, but the guy you're talking about, his death affects you the heaviest throughout the entire movie. Even though Shia LaBeouf dies last, his death doesn't affect you like the other guys does.
Yeah. The priest, you didn't really get to find out as much about him either, and but you knew he was gifted. He had a gift, and you could see that's probably why he became a priest, because as you saw him sitting at the table, well, first he had that amulet on for protection from demons and stuff, and Constantine was able to talk him to taking it off. He's trying to help him become more, be more courageous and believe in himself, you know, his strength, his inner strength, to protect him in his faith, to protect him from the demons, right? And so he takes it off of him and puts it in his pocket on his jacket. Well, he was weak. He was weak in his mind to believe that he didn't have what he needed to protect himself. You know, like to be able to do exorcisms and stuff, and believe in the faith from God's power to be able to fight off the demons with his cross or his different scriptures, things like that. So he lacked faith. So after he left that one thing, after he was doing the reading, and he had the stack of newspapers on there and using his gift that God gave him, and his eyes rolled back and his eyes were white, and then he's touching the newspapers, and that's how he finds out about the police officer's sister that had jumped off the building and committed suicide. So a death by suicide means you can't get into heaven. So that whole connection was with Constantine about what they chose to use for his reasoning behind why he's doing what he's doing more and more, is to try to earn his way into heaven, because he did try to commit suicide when he was young because of the torture that he went through, because his parents thought he was nuts. And instead of thinking that he was gifted by God to have certain abilities, they had him do electric shock therapy and drugs and all these different things to him, because they thought he was insane. And so he just didn't want to live that way anymore. So he tried to take his own life, which is a sin, to commit suicide. So basically that was the connection for me to help me understand Constantine's dilemma, and how he feels terrible, because he does believe in heaven and hell, because he could see it, because he sees it every day. He's fighting demons. And in that scene where he goes to the house and his apprentice drives him there, and his apprentice wants to go up there and blah, blah, blah. And he tells him no, but every time he tells him to stay in the car, he doesn't really listen to him. He doesn't do exactly what he tells him to. So he does have a lot to learn. He is knowledgeable, though, about the Bible and different procedures and what you should do, or what kind of artifacts you need to perform certain things that you need done, and to try to be one step ahead of the demons and outthink them. Okay, and using your skills to do that.
Shia LaBeouf's character is a classic case of high knowledge. I just had to high knowledge, low experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not getting any experience because Constantine won't let him, because he doesn't want to have another death on his hands, basically, or someone dying because of him putting them in harm's way. But he let him take him places and stuff, so he was definitely in danger. He just wasn't right there next to him. But when he sees that girl, or when the mother is taking a cup of tea to her daughter that's sick, and she opens the door, I thought that was a really believable, scary scene. And she opens the door, and you see the look of fright on her face, and then you get to see in the crack into the room, and you see the girl up on the wall, like a creature. Spider. Of some sort, a demon, and she's hanging from the ceiling, and her hair is hanging towards the floor, and she's all hideous. Her face is all hideous and everything. So then you realize that she's possessed. So they call Constantine to do a ritual on her. And what was really cool, though, is when he goes in, he's all calm and collected. Very cool, like he does it all the time. And then he pulls all the different symbols, because he's trying to think of what demon he thinks is in there, right? So he's doing all these different symbols, religious symbols, to use to put on her forehead while he's reading scripture or whatever. And that's when he realizes that it's a soldier demon, one of the really strong ones that don't ever come to or up on our plane. And the whole ritual where they get a big mirror and holds it above them to draw him into the mirror, which was really cool. I just thought the different things that they did, different ways they use spells and water, the common day things that are around your house, to fight demons. I just thought that made it even more intriguing. What do you guys think about that kind of stuff?
I actually really liked, sorry, Gus stretch. Oh, I really liked how they incorporated that kind of stuff, because I'm not the most religious, but I have seen a lot of different stuff about that, because no matter if you're religious or not, religion is a great place for inspiration for ideas. So I know a few things at least, and they incorporated things that make sense, that along with what I knew. If it's true, if it goes directly into the how the Bible's written, I don't know, but it works with what I do know, and so I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was that was part of the thing that I thought was really, really unique about the vision of this director. The details that he had to put in it, because you got to remember, this director was someone who made music videos. So it was a very small feature, a very small feature of a movie. And you have to have a lot crammed into every scene, because it's a story being told by someone singing, So I just love that the visual aid that he used throughout the whole movie. And just like I said about all the sets, I thought the sets were phenomenal. Because the room that they chose where the girl walked up the building, committed suicide, right? And she falls, and you see her falling and falling, and she's getting closer and closer to the camera from that very high building she leaped from, and then she crashes through the roof that's above the therapy pool, at the hospital. Mm-hmm. And it's got that echoey quality, because you could tell that when they filmed it in a real room with a pool in it, because it had that I can't explain it. It's like an echoey sound when you talk and you're walking and making noise in a room that has a pool in it. It's a big in-ground pool. It just has this weird echoing.
Water conducts the sound better than the air around it, so
so
you're going to get a good reverb off of the water.
It was, that was, I just thought that was, gave me the goosebumps. I mean, it was so eerie, the way they did all of that part of it, that whole thing in that part of the hospital. It just made it so creepy. And the fact that the police showed up and they had videotape showing how she just walked right through the door, and how a patient can just get out of their room and just walk up to this roof and jump off. I just thought that was kind of far-fetched a little bit when I thought about it. Because the first time I saw it, I didn't think about that at all. But, now I'm an adult and I'm looking at it as an adult, you see the little flaws that were here and there, but it wasn't any flaws that I could see in the special effects that he chose to use. And I wish more people that made music videos did the special effects for movies, because man, it was just freaking awesomeness. Like when they busted out of hell, okay, and he comes back and the steam is just coming off his whole body. That was an awesome effect. I mean, to me, it gave me goosebumps just watching it, because it was so believable to me that if I walked in a room and I saw somebody that supposedly was telling me they were going to go to hell to see if my sister was there, and then you see the steam coming off and he's coughing and stuff, and she smells the smell of sulfur, right? And she's reacting to that, and then he opens his hand and he has her wristband from the hospital. And that,
which, if you remember a little detail they show it when she's looking at the corpse of her sister, she doesn't have one on.
Yeah, but she has that mark on her wrist, that pentagram mark that they kind of, I don't know, I don't know if it just wasn't prominent enough that they noticed it. I guess I would have noticed it after the autopsy, but all this stuff is happening pretty quickly. Once that part happens on the thing, because and that's when you start realizing that all the stuff where the guy had found the spear, that all of that was set up by Gabriel, because Gabriel wants to start the end of the world. She wants the hell to rise or whatever type thing, so that humans would have to fight if they believed, and they would have to fight for God and die or whatever, to be able to have their seat in heaven or whatever type thing, because she didn't feel any of them were worthy, because they were just, petty and selfish and self-centered. At least that's how she saw most of them. But the thing is that I liked a lot about Shia LaBeouf's character in this movie was the fact that he did believe, and he really wanted to help people. He wanted to learn. He wanted to learn from the very best, which was John Constantine. And he was bending over backward for him, but he just wouldn't give him the time of day, basically, and let him do anything. So a couple of times when you get to see him making those bullets, for the gun that they're going to take to the hospital, he's putting the different crosses on them and using different stuff in them to help them, do it. And then he comes up with the whole idea about putting the cross into the water system that would make the sprinkler system go off. So it's all holy water. That came from his apprentice, not from Constantine. And it impressed him, because he saw the look on his face when he turned and was like, what? He was like, he was impressed. And so was the other, I can't remember the other guy's name. Midnight. Yeah. So was Midnight. He was like, whoa, this kid knows his stuff. And, he was impressed by it. So, I just thought that interaction was really, really good about Midnight trying to, because in a way, it reminded me a lot of John Wick. The scene where they go to the hotel where no one's allowed to do anything to each other. It's a neutral territory, right? And he's running in that spot. So this bar was a hangout for vampires, demons, all different creatures from different places when it came to different dimensions or whatever. We didn't know for sure what was all in there, but we knew it was all creepy stuff, right? And Constantine would go there to get information, and they weren't allowed to do anything there. No one was allowed to cause any kind of problems, because I guess Midnight was a powerful enough person that he could send you back where you came from if you got in trouble. So I just thought that was a really good thing, and the fact that to get in you had to have some type of ability, psychic ability, to read those cards and know it was on it.
My understanding is that Midnight was the equivalent of a warlock. Don't quote me on that, but that's my
Yeah,
understanding.
I think so too. A very powerful one too, from
Uh-huh.
what you could tell when he got in a tumble with John Constantine. So and he was scary. I thought he was very I don't know, creepy. He gave me I wouldn't mess with him. I mean, he had to be pretty ballsy to mess with him. But when Constantine went there and was trying to tell him that they were attacked out in the open, you know, by demons, and he was like, no, he didn't believe him. So you'd think that he would say, what do you mean? And want him to show something, you know, somehow to prove to him that he was telling the truth, or he had no reason to make this up, type of thing.
Yeah.
So there were little things like that I didn't think that was I don't know, it just didn't flow well for that part, because it didn't make sense, especially when they've dealt with each other for what was it? He said 10 years, something like that. That's a long time to be coming in and talking to him about a lot of things that's going on, and the fact that he knew all the things that Constantine had done and how many demons he'd already sent back to hell. So,
Bruce, your favorite shirt vendor is here.
Oh man, I love this guy.
Oh, hi, Hungar.
Hi, Hungar.
Yeah, I wanted to say hi to him. I just saw him in the chat. I'm sorry, I can't read and talk at the same time. Maybe it's I got blonde roots or something.
For those who are curious what just happened, I'm living with a broken chair. I'll be replacing it within the next couple of months, but I have certain other bills that are more important.
So do you have anything to say about all the stuff we just talked about, Bruce?
I pretty much agree with you on this movie. Okay, I don't have a need to debate you on this. Did you hear what I said?
Mm-mm.
I don't have a need.
I heard every other word.
I have no need to debate you on this.
Oh, I don't want you to debate me. I just wanted your personal opinion on it.
I like everything I've heard so far, and I pretty much agree with all the sentiments towards this movie so far. My biggest complaint about this movie is that it's not really long enough, because there's other stuff they could explain in the film and go deeper into the mythos around this man, John Constantine. But we are not privy to that. Hopefully, with part 2, they do fix that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it now that when you said that, because it's been so long. Because this came out in 2005.
Yeah.
So and I hope they can get the same director. God, wouldn't that be great? I think it would be awesome if they could get the same director and use the same type of effects and everything, because it was just even now. I mean, to me, the special effects held up all this time very well, because it was very just well done. I mean, it was just phenomenal, the special effects, to me, the way I saw it. Even the way that when the Gabriel, you know, the wings, and then you see the priest after he was trying to quench his thirst, you know, with the alcohol, but the demon was able to make him not be able to quench his thirst. So he was drinking and drinking and drinking all the different types of alcohol, trying to calm himself, because he had taken off his amulet, you see, and he had so much belief in the amulet when it was really in him, but he didn't believe in himself strong enough. So the next thing you know, he starts throwing up all the alcohol, because he was dying from alcohol poisoning, because he had drank so much. He was busting all those bottles and trying to drink, but he was drinking. He just couldn't feel the sensation of him quenching his thirst with the alcohol, because the demon wouldn't let him. So that whole way he died was just really gruesome. And then you turn and you see the guy that's bending down, holding his hand, talking to him. He just looks like a normal guy. But then when they're there and they look at him, they see that he's an angel. He's a part angel or whatever on Earth. So I just thought that was really good. It kind of comforted me in a way to think about it, because I've seen lots of interesting videos of showing of like a shadowy figures above people that have been dying, that were dying in car accidents and stuff. And I always wanted to believe that they were comforted somehow by an angel or somebody there to be with them, so they weren't by themselves. And you know, I just thought that was I liked that vision that the director was trying to show, that we aren't alone, that maybe there are guardian angels or archangels or things like that to be here to help balance out the fact that Satan has reign over the earth until you know, tribulation or whatever. So I'm not a Catholic though. I don't believe in you know, bowing down to a cross on the wall or any of those type of things. I think that's worshiping, you know, an image of, you know, God or whatever. And I just don't believe in that myself personally. But my sister, she converted to become a Catholic so she could get married to the man she chose.
I will be right back. My camera just
okay.
arrived, and I'm excited to use it. I will have to leave the studio because if I try to plug it in while I'm in the studio, it won't work. I've learned that the hard way. So I'm going to leave, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
But to me, I just thought all of that, the vision of the director was just, I just loved it. You just don't see that very often. It's very, very rare that you can see the actual vision that the director wants you to see. And I just thought he was great at it, even though I'd never heard of this guy, you know. Had you ever heard of him?
Never a day before I started doing the research for this.
Yeah, Francis Lawrence. And when I was researching, that's how I found it. I said, now I understand why. Because if you go watch like Rammstein, you know, some of their videos, it's a beautiful theatrical movie, basically miniature tiny movie, all based around whatever they're singing about. But the costumes and the scenery and everything, the detail, the rich colors and everything, it's just so beautiful. It draws you into it. And you have to be able to draw them in fast and get them in to watch the whole video right away, really quickly. And you can do that with visual aids. So the fact that he used the visual aids to draw you into the different characters really fast, I thought was really good. But like the scene where Constantine takes, what was the detective's name?
Which
the
one?
woman. I can't remember what her name was. I'm really bad about that. But when he took her to his sister's apartment, okay, or not the apartment, but the hospital room, and he's trying to talk to her, and he says, "You were a twin." So that's another thing. Remember when he came out from hell to prove that her sister was in hell because she did commit suicide. So and he gave her
Angela Dodson and Isabella Dodson.
Okay, so Isabella was the sister that died. Okay, so the thing is that when he's talking to her, he says twins share a special link, okay, where you share each other's thoughts and you can almost think what they're thinking when they're thinking it, at the moment they're thinking it. And then if something was to happen to one, you know something's wrong. You have a sense of it because you're their twin. So what was your sister doing that night before she walked off the roof? And she said, no, I don't know. And she didn't want to put herself in her sister's shoes, whatever, trying to think it through her sister. And then finally she remembered that when they were kids, they used to draw on the windows, and you'd have to put your hot breath on there to read what the other person left for them, because they couldn't write it down because both of them had psychic abilities, and she didn't want to get tortured, basically like her sister was being tortured, them trying to cure her for her ailment, that whatever it is that she was, her psychosis or whatever. So they would secretly leave messages for each other. And the fact that they were able to do that and no one knew about it, because he said she left something specifically for you to find, not for the detectives to find, but for her twin. And so I thought that whole scene was just really, really intense. And he's right up on her, right up in her face, in her space, and her fighting with him about, not wanting to share and wanting him to back off, but he wouldn't back down. He was very aggressive about it. And in a way, it was kind of highly sexualized to me. I mean, it was very sexually intimidating because he was in her, right up into her face, and he was like, grabbing her, and he, I don't know, I can't explain it, but I thought it was a big turn on for me. I thought the way he was trying to force her to listen to what he was trying to say and put her in a position to where she could link up with her sister's spirit, basically, type thing. I just thought that was really, really intense, a very intense scene for me. But I think you liked that scene too, didn't you, Bruce?
I did. I liked the hell scenes quite a bit. I shouldn't have, but I really enjoyed the hell scenes. The only thing better than the director of photography and the scenery whenever hell was presented was the gun that John Constantine carries throughout the whole movie. There might be bigger out there, but the only thing that would make that gun cooler would be if it would set you on illusionary fire, and then it would, drain your hit points. Basically, it would damage you, and that would be the only thing that'd be cooler, is if like you watch somebody try to use that and they just start to combust as they're unloading 3, 4, 5, 6 bullets, and all of a sudden they're like, and they fall to the ground and they're burning, and maybe they break into a bunch of little burning people like in the movie The Gate. But that gun is so fucking cool. Like, the only way it'd be cooler is if it had tits and was on fire. That's it.
Yeah.
That is the coolest gun in any movie I've ever seen. And it was very, very well designed. And I was just so impressed with it. Granted, it's a fictional movie, Bruce. It's not a real gun. But it's so cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. And the scene where he's walking in the street with her while they're talking, and the demons start to come. Okay, and the lights are flickering, and there's no one on the street. It's absolutely barren in a huge city. That was another thing I thought was interesting. How that one camera caught every detail of the girl, jumping off the roof, but all this other chaos is going on, and not one police officer shows up.
Nobody shows up for any of the important stuff.
Yeah, for the actual death of all these people. I mean, you got on camera, you got all these people standing down there in that health center area of the hospital, right? And then all of a sudden, all the sprinklers come on, and they're all screaming and in agony because they're all getting holy water on them because they're all demons, basically. So maybe they nobody can see them. Maybe we're seeing them because we know they're demons and we're watching the movie, but maybe the demons weren't really there. Just like the guy that was, what was her name?
Gabriel?
Gwen Stefani's ex-husband.
Gavin Rossdale.
Gavin was pretending to be that like CEO of that whatever corporation it was. And he was able to just live, a great life and influence people and enjoy the agony he caused in people through influencing to make bad decisions, right? But that whole scene when he pulls those brass knuckles out with the little crosses and stuff on them, man, I thought that was badass. I can't believe you didn't bring that up, because that was a really badass set of brass knuckles. To be able to beat the crap out of a demon with them, because it made him extra powerful. It was almost like he had a Hulk smash hand, you know what I mean? He was pummeling this guy, and he was tearing him to shreds. His face was coming apart and everything because it was a holy brass knuckles. I just thought that was kick butt. I just love that. And doing that whole thing the way he did it. And was it he went through the wall? Was it the dragon's breath that was able to burn the hole? Because he was looking at himself in the mirror. Remember, he was admiring his handsomeness.
Yep.
And then the mirror starts warping and you see his face kind of molding. Is because he was burning a hole through the wall with that dragon's breath, I think. if I remember, that's what happened on that. I thought that was a super cool scene. I really liked it. And I was really surprised. I remember when I first saw him in that thing, and I was like, he is very handsome. Her husband was very attractive. She's not with him anymore because apparently he must have been a real dickhead. But I thought it was a really good scene. Very
He's probably
intense.
just really good with all the other girls too.
What?
He's probably just really good with all the other girls too.
Oh, yeah, that's probably why they got divorced. But the thing is, I thought he did a good job because I never saw him acting in anything before that.
No, he did good in this movie.
So I thought he did really good as a character to play a demon, and a nice dressed one. You know, he looks, you know, he's dressed to the nines. You know, he was very decked out. He looked very rich. So whatever job he had, there was a lot of demons because you saw in the scene where they were waiting for the birth of the son of the devil's son, right?
Mm-hmm.
The son of the devil was wanting to be born on earth where he could come and start Armageddon or whatever and rule over the earth. And so that whole scene where you had all those people around to rejoice, you know, the demons that were dressed as people that looked like people waiting around to rejoice when the second coming was going to happen because they were going to, Revelations was going to begin or whatever. So I thought that whole thing was really creepy when she's laying on the ground and you see that face moving around in her stomach trying to come out. And then Gabriel comes down to cut her open so she can start the whole process of it. Right at the moment that the devil comes, remember, what was it? Midnight said, you're the one soul that Satan himself would, Lucifer himself would come to get himself, you know, in person. Because he would be so excited to have Constantine, one of his battles, you know, the person who keeps sending back all the bad guys, you know, back to hell. And he's having to send more and more people because Constantine's getting rid of them, you know, almost as fast as he can get them there. So he didn't like him. And he couldn't wait to have him in hell with him. So I thought that was a really good. And the actor they got to portray Satan, and it's so cool when Satan does appear and he drops down and lands on the ground. You see his 2 feet; they're all covered with soot. You know, they're black and oily looking. And then he sets down gently on the ground, and he's wearing a complete white suit. You know, like I just thought that was very intriguing vision from the director to see that's what he wanted the devil to look like. You know. And the tattoos you could see on his neck that were going down like that in points that were coming up, it made you want to know what the rest of the tattoo looked like because it had to be really creepy. You know what I mean? But then he's sitting there. But what was so cool was when you saw him cut his wrists, when you saw him, Constantine cut his wrists, and he's sitting there bleeding out. And then you see his watch is on the ground, and then all of a sudden you see the clock going click, click,
yep,
getting slower and slower down, counting down, and then it stops. So time stopped, and then you see that's when Lucifer comes down, you know, and the whole concept of that was just really, really. I just thought it was phenomenal. I just loved it. I mean, I could watch this movie every month and I still would enjoy it because there's just so much detail in it. And the story was just so well told that you didn't have to have anybody explain anything to you because you understood everything that was going on because you couldn't help but watch because it was so good. You know what I mean? The entertainment value was just through the roof, I thought, to draw you in to watch it. I'm doing all the talking, so I'm gonna.
That's fine. You're
okay.
completely good.
I hate to do that.
Movie, but you like the movie a little more than I did, and I'm okay with that because this movie is a good movie for me. But this isn't like an instant classic for me. It's
this was right up my genre. I mean, this is you know, it's got everything I like. It's got horror, it's got intrigue, it's got a slight bit of chance, maybe romance between the two characters, and because she's psychic and she has abilities, herself, and so does he. So they're they're similar. They're from the same cloth. They're cut from the same, cookie cutter or whatever you want to call it. So they could possibly have had a relationship afterward, because they had good chemistry between the two of them. And then you get to see Shia LaBeouf's character step one up when he gets to go inside and try to save her from the devil's son coming through her body, because he basically impregnated her with himself, through another demon type thing. It was really gruesome, the whole thing, when you think about it. But when he drops her into the water, that was his way of being able to get her into hell. That whole near death thing where you almost drowned, you right there on the cusp of death is when you're able to transform into the other plane. So that whole concept was really good. And then when she jumps out of the water and she's a demon, you could tell that she's got a demon in her because she's possessed, because her you could see her skin is translucent now, and you could see all the blood vessels in her neck and in her face and everything. And her eyes are like just all bloodshot and glowing almost. So all that was just really good. And that's when he knew that she was possessed and that they had to do something. And so they tried to hold her down. Shia LaBeouf's helping to do like an exorcism. But the thing is, it wasn't just a normal possession, because now he actually had the son of Lucifer inside of her trying to come out, because it had to be born from a woman or whatever, to a psychic human woman to be able to start the whole, the holy war type stuff or whatever. So I thought that was really good. But when he's about to die and Constantine tells Lucifer that your son is trying to, come through the gateway or whatever to reign or here on earth. And he's like, no, he wouldn't do that. He's where he belongs or whatever type of thing. And he goes, and plus Gabriel's in there too, because Gabriel's trying to help him. So Lucifer is intrigued by what he says, but he's more excited about being able to take Constantine's soul with him back to hell, that he doesn't want to leave. And then that's when Constantine says, well, what's another 25-30 seconds? All you have to do is go look, and time is stopped. So because you remember, you see Gabriel's not the spear of destiny is about to stab the woman's stomach and open her up so that the son of the devil can come out and be more human because of it. And they're stopped in they're just, everything stopped except for Lucifer and Constantine are the only ones that are not, they're able to talk and communicate and move and everything. So when Lucifer turns around and is walking toward the double doors into the other room, where the pool is at, the therapy pool, and then you just see doors explode, right? And there's shards of glass everywhere, but they're not really moving because they're stopped in time. The doors shatter, but they're just kind of hanging in there in the air, midair. And then you see, Lucifer walk through them, and as he's walking through them, they just kind of go ping, 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 and they're touching him, but then they're moving a little bit. But he's, it's just the special effects I just thought were just super cool for that whole scene. And that's when he sees Gabriel with the knife up above like that stopped. And this is an archangel. So that shows that Lucifer, remember, he was the number one angel. He was in charge of all the other angels when he was in heaven before he was cast out. So the fact that he could stop Gabriel from, in midair from
Janet,
stabbing
I'll be right back.
that woman, I thought was really good. What?
I got to keep talking. I got to reboot.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. Is anybody else able to hear him?
I was able to hear him, but that's because I just re-entered and my audio is freaking out, so I couldn't hear you. That's why I had to re-enter, and he said he'll be right back. He has to reboot. So
okay.
everybody's having StreamYard's problems tonight.
Well, normally it's me, but this time it seemed to be okay. I mean, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm pretty confident it was on my end because it's the first time it's happened to me.
Lucifer grabs the woman that's on the floor, and he slowly pulls her out of the way right as he lets time start again, and Gabriel stabs the floor, and it goes into the tile. That's how strong that was. And that, I thought that was just a really, really cool scene. And basically he took, when you looked up at Lucifer, he's holding his son, and his son's squirming around, you know, because he's like a demon basically. And then he casts him back down to hell. He throws him back down there. So to see the extreme power that Lucifer had just on earth, and he was able to stop time, all the things he was able to do, how powerful he was, way more powerful than Gabriel was. As an archangel. So I just thought that it gave me goosebumps, and just thinking about it right now, that whole scene, it gives me chills because, you know, I do believe in the devil. So, you know, I do believe in the supernatural and things like that to some degrees when it comes to reality in my life, even though I don't believe in vampires and werewolves and things like that. I do believe in spirits, and I do believe in heaven and hell, you know, so all of that was very, you know, in the emphasis on smoking, you know, and that if you smoke over, you know, like what Gabriel said to him, well, you've been smoking for 20 years, 3 packs a day, you knew you were going to end up getting cancer. You know, she was like being a butt to him, but also still telling the truth to him, you know?
Yeah.
So the emphasis they kept putting on him smoking, chain smoking, chain smoking, chain smoking. And then what was the other thing was alcohol addiction, you know? So they had 2 major addictions right up front, and showing how bad they were, and that you can die from drinking too much alcohol, and you can die from smoking. So that was 2 things that were, I was surprised that were in the movie, because that's 2 of the biggest money-making things that you can have, you know, in the United States, is being a manufacturer of alcohol, firearms, and cigarettes, right? Tobacco products. So to me, that was like a major stab at those industries, you know, through the eyes of the person that wanted to see this movie come to life. So I just thought that was very interesting that they chose to do that. And that might be one of the reasons why the movie didn't do as well as they thought it would, especially with a huge star just leaving from making The Matrix. And then the actress had just done The Mummy, right? Yeah. So she had 2 big actors in this movie. And I just thought that was just really shocking to me that it didn't make as much money. Because I thought it was an awesome movie. I didn't know that it didn't make as much money as as a blockbuster. It wasn't a big blockbuster movie, because I thought it would be.
Kind of like Treasure Island, or Cutthroat Island, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Deserved way better than it got.
Yeah. But I'm just amazed at the vision of this director, and how he was able to get us to see his vision, like, you know, his version of hell, what hell looked like to him. Yeah. And I just thought I don't want to go there. If hell looks anything even half remotely as disgusting and scary as that was, I just thought it was just very scary. To me, it was a place I do not want to ever go, especially knowing I'm going to be there for eternity. It's a horrible way to go. I don't want to be there. So I just thought it was phenomenal. The whole story, the storyline behind the 2 characters and how they met, and that both of them were touched, you know, and the thing is, a lot of people, I think, when you think about it, when it comes to religion, a lot of people would instantly think that if your child was able to tell the future, or see something happening that no one else could see, and then the after effects, everybody could see the after effects, but they couldn't see it when it was happening. Any of those things. If your child said, I saw grandma, and I was talking to grandma today, and she was sitting over there in that chair, but she'd been dead for 10 years.
That was her favorite chair.
Yeah, but you could take your child to the doctor because you said that it can't be a good thing. So even if a child does have special gifts, how many families are going to accept that maybe your child's blessed with a blessing from God? You know, you'd automatically, most people, 99%, I'd say, would think, oh, my kid's nuts. You know, I got to get him on meds, or I got to get him to a therapist or whatever else, instead of trying to bring in a priest or something like that to help you figure out whether or not this was a gift or not. You know, like, what was that movie? That other movie was called Ghost or something like that.
Ghost, yeah, with Pat Swayze.
Powder. Remember that movie Powder?
Back in '93.
That was a really good movie, and this was a person that was unique. You know, it was a different person. So I don't know. I just think that there's something to all these people having certain gifts. I'm not saying I believe all of them, but I do believe there are people with it, with the power of precognition or certain things that, you know, healing abilities, things like that. But it's sad that so many people just want to shut it out and just push them aside and think that, well, they're damaged goods, you know, that type of thing. So I don't know. I just think it's very interesting, the whole concept that they were trying to show us in this movie. That's why they took a comic book character that was typically a comic book that had great, cool stories and stuff in it, but to try to make it lifelike. And I thought he did a really good job.
I don't mean to interrupt you during a good
go ahead
thing, Janet. But Bruce, if I remember correctly, that one's base doesn't really touch the Skeletor, so it might not. Oh, it does glue. Okay, never mind. I didn't think. I could have sworn those two didn't touch, so you would have had to glue the spine, not the. No, the base glued just fine. Never mind. I have stand corrected.
You did good. You really did good. This is his version that he did. I'm glossing it so I can protect it from getting more and more chips on it, because it seems to be.
Yeah, I didn't use enough. I didn't use enough sealant on it.
It's okay. I'm getting that on there now. I don't remember there being a lot of stunts in this movie. There's a lot of
not really. I mean, I'd say the most stunt heavy scene is pretty much CGI from the which is the scene with all the demons.
Yes. I love the scene where the holy water is given to the sprinklers, and the sprinklers know what to do. The sprinklers understood the assignment. And,
well, the thing is, I thought it was great achievement for Shia LaBeouf's character as an apprentice to be able to actually do something hands-on that worked, because it really helped out and weakened the demons so that he could kick their ass, you know, with the gun that he had. And I just thought it was really cool. As, you know, the woman's going, what? Holy water? She couldn't believe it. You know, the one demon, his face was peeling off because of the holy water. I just thought
there's actually a story arc with that demon that's in the cut scene and the cut scenes, which is she and Constantine actually has a sexual relationship.
Oh, with that demon?
Yeah, and she like they could have reshot that scene to make it seem less like, I always was her attitude is like, why would you do this, instead of like, it pisses me off. And I always wondered about that. Then we see in the cut in the special features, you find out that she and Constantine actually have a relationship, and one of the cut scenes was where he actually lets her live and lets her go. And it's like, if you're going to cut the character, don't leave one line that makes you wonder what. It's obvious those two have a relationship at that point, because it isn't a you're pissing me off. It's a, why would you do this to me?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like I said, different things like that. A person that knew what it was from would get upset that they put that in there and didn't put in the rest. But a person who's never read the comic book or anything would never even realize that had anything to do with anything. You know what I mean?
Well, to a degree, it's just the fact I actually noticed that very first time I watched it. It's like,
Yeah.
why is she acting like she knows him? And then in the cutscenes, you find out, you know what I mean? You find out why, which is they had a relationship. So some people notice some things, some people don't. And I'll admit,
You see,
I'm not
that's
the
why
biggest noticer of things.
that's why any good movie is worth watching over and over again, because each time you watch it, you're going to find more and more things.
Yeah.
Like this last time when we watched a Tremors movie, I noticed 3 or 4 things that I didn't remember noticing before. So it's just funny how once you, like his name being what his name was. What was his name again? Trying to remember. Valentine. Yeah.
Valentine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they called him Val, but I remember being called Val, but that one part where he called him Valentine, I went, what? I was taken aback by his name's Valentine, that all this time, all these years, I didn't even realize it. But that's what I mean. You pick up on one thing and someone else wouldn't even notice it. And then next time they notice something and you don't notice it. You see? It's just funny because we all absorb the information as we need it, I guess, or what we're tuned into at the time we're watching it. So I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. But I just forgot how phenomenal a job they had done on all these demons and stuff, because the scene, I was in the streets when he used the dragon's breath, and the other scene where he's fighting the demon that was all the bugs and the crab, because I thought that was pretty gross when he was down on his knee coughing and then a crab just all of a sudden appears, by his foot, and then all these other creatures were, slimy, a rat, all these snakes and stuff were all starting to appear, and I was like, what's going on? Is this a
creatures that
mirage?
mankind naturally have a dislike for?
Yeah, it was gross though. The thought of fighting something that's nothing but a bunch of cockroaches and maggots and all these horrid,
It's
terrible,
the spirit of
disgusting-
pestilence.
Yeah, pestilence. And he was fighting it, and then he has that chair beetle or whatever, and he's trying to get the box and it gets knocked out of his hand. And I was like, shit, and he's fighting it and it's coming apart and flying back together. It was just disgusting. I thought the whole thing was disgusting. And then when he finally got it out in the street and it got hit by that bus or whatever, and it kind of splattered, and he's standing there stomping on all the bugs that made the demon up, and it was just disgusting. Ugh, the whole thought of, you're riding your bike or a motorcycle, or you have your window down and a bug goes in your mouth. I know almost everyone's had to have that happen to them. It made me gag thinking about him fighting all them bugs, and at the end he's dusting himself off and all the bugs are falling off. It was just, it was just gross. That was just disgusting to me. And
Michelle Monaghan is the lady who played Elle, the lady that he was supposed to have a relationship with.
Yeah.
In the film, it consisted of 2 brief shots and 1 line of dialogue. Holy water! During the climatic confrontation with a group of half-breeds in the hospital. It was to cut and make him more of a very lonely character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would honestly think sex with a demon makes him even lonelier, because honestly, that, especially as a demon slayer, that means he's sunk pretty low.
Oh, after seeing what they look like under the fake skin, I don't think I'd be interested. You might lose something. Or plus, wouldn't they all smell like sulfur?
Yes.
So
Well, that would depend. If they all smelled like sulfur, humans would know that they're demons. Like it would progress to modern day. If you smell sulfur, for a fact it's that person's a demon. Like that if all demons smell like sulfur constantly, that would just progress to modern day. So there has to be a way for them to not smell like sulfur. Maybe they naturally do, but they can have like a bracelet.
Like when that one demon was making him not be able to fulfill his thirst, right?
Yeah.
He was stopping him from being able to do it. So maybe a demon that's interested in wanting, they said lots of angels came to earth and had sex with humans, right? Had relationships. That's why there was a lot of half human, half angel children on Earth, supposedly. So maybe that's what they did. They would put little thoughts in your head to make you not smell or not notice the smell, or thinking you're smelling something like roses or something that tastes delicious, or something sweet or something. I don't know. You're being influenced into thinking that. So
even if it's just influence, yeah.
I mean, you're trying to dig in and understand certain things later on after you watched it. But but see, I just believe in that kind of stuff. I think that could be possible for something like that to happen. So that makes it even more creepy to me. It's scary.
Romero did play Lucifer. Just to give you a brief idea of what had been going on, Alan Moore started this character in the Saga of Swamp Thing number 37, released in June 1985. In 1988, the character was given their own comic book title, Hellblazer, published by DC Comics. Producer Lauren Schuler Donner began developing the film in 1997. Paul Hunter was attached to direct in 1999, and he was replaced by Tarsem Singh in 2001. Warner Brothers had hoped to begin filming in 2002 with Nicolas Cage in the lead role. This is after the failed Nicolas Cage Superman. Singh drops out, resulting in opposing lawsuits filed by himself and Warner Brothers. Keanu Reeves gets attached to the film in 2002. Alan Moore checks back on the film and he's like, you know what? I really don't like how my adaptations from my comics from Hell and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen have turned out. And he refused to be credited or even associated with the film, and asking that his royalties be distributed among the other creators of the character. So they incorporate some elements of Garth Ennis's Dangerous Habits story arc from comic issues 41 to 46, and the inclusion of Papa Midnight from the original Sins trade paperback. The title was changed from Hellblazer to Constantine to avoid confusion with Clive Barker's Hellraiser films. Now, the comic series is going to be originally titled Hellraiser, but that was retitled to avoid confusion with the first Hellraiser film. Imagine Pinhead and Constantine together. That was released a year before the debut of Hellblazer. So it changed aspects of source material from one degree to another for many, many, many years. This movie could have been in production hell. Yeah, and Alan Moore, he doesn't want anything to do with him for whatsoever, and the reasons aren't that great. He's an idiot, I think, because this movie is actually one of the better DC films.
I think so. I thought it was, but see, I liked Morbius too. I went and saw Morbius, and I thought they did a really good job at portraying the character I remember from my comic books that I loved.
The sequel to Morbius is coming out. The sequel to Morbius is coming out. I saw the other day on YouTube, there's a big bunch of downvotes for Amazon's Lord of the Rings 2, and that's when Galadriel looks at the camera and says, "It's Tolkien time," and the drums start up. My bad. My bad. Did I say that aloud? Sorry.
But the thing is, I don't care what movie you make, even some of the best blockbusters like Gone with the Wind or any of these movies that we loved or whatever, somebody's not going to like it. That's just the way it is. You cannot please every person. But someone's going to hate it and someone's going to like it. So it just depends on how many love it and go see it more than once. And that next thing you know, it becomes a blockbusting hit movie. Just like we all watched Cutthroat Island, and we'd all liked the movie. So it wasn't the movie that was bad. It was the fact that the people running everything screwed up and put them in debt. So they lost so much money because it's such bad mistakes that the people were making before the movie was even filmed. They'd already were in debt over $60 million. So that's just bad management. It has nothing to do with the capability of the actors or the people that were making the film, because even editing was good in it. I thought it was a really well made movie. And but that's what it happens when once you get all the sets and you get the actors and you get all the stuff you need to do it, and you got the special effects set up and everything, and all of that's put together and it's edited, okay, and pieces are taken out. So maybe there was a scene like you said about the cut scene, when you see something that's in there and you're like, that didn't fit, that stuck out like a sore thumb. Why was that scene in there? Well, the person that edited it should have taken that line out of the movie. If they would have taken that one line out of the movie, then those people would have said, they would have noticed it. See, it wouldn't have been such a bad thing. But because they needed extra footage or 1 10-second spot or whatever, they just went ahead and left that one line in because they thought it was funny. But the people that knew what the line meant, or who was saying the line, didn't like it. See, so it does, a lot of stuff ends up being good or bad because of editing, what they leave in and what they choose to take out. So it has so much to do with it. So when you even the movie that we watched, that the Gamers movie, the very first one, with the purple ninja in it, right? I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. Now, it could have been better if they had money, if they'd been able to have professional costumes and professional sets, things like that. It would have been a lot better. And the kids would have been trained with acting classes, things like that. But that's one of the things I love about independent films, is the fact that they have to go the extra mile to find a way to get something on the screen. And get you to see it on screen, like the gateway that they had. It was dorky and comical, but that's what gave it its charm to me. Is the charm of it was the fact that you could tell that this was a brand new group of kids making a movie. They had no money and they did the best they could to make it. And Crafty was probably a couple boxes of Twinkies and some bag of chips and some soda pops, just sitting on a table where they just go and get what they wanted when they were hungry. And, and I've been to a few sets that were pretty much a step up from that, cheese whiz and some crackers and some apple slices, and some lemonade or whatever, and bottles of water, because that was all they could afford. So I don't know. Just to me, I don't understand why this movie did not make the big splash that I figured it would, with 2 huge stars from 2 great movies that made bank.
Janet,
What?
Bruce is going to take you back in time.
Okay.
I'm going to take you back in time to a Viggo Mortensen, Christopher Walken film called The Prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie should have been a financial success.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie.
Okay. When you see it, you're going to be like, that is so good. Why didn't we watch that as a double feature with this movie? You're gonna say
you
that.
Said we were going to. We're going to try to make it a double feature.
Yeah, we're going to do a double feature with that, with A Prophecy and another horror theme film for Halloween. There'll be a double feature we'll do. And you'll be like, this is too good.
Mm-hmm.
But you have this movie called The Prophecy, which should have been a surefire hit. And I rewind time again, and there's another movie called The Serpent and the Rainbow, directed by horror mogul Wes Craven. And very few people remember that until you start describing the movie like, oh my God, I did see that on cable once. That's what they say. Nobody ever saw this movie in the theaters. You only saw it in the video rental store as an editor's pick, because it came out of some left field indie pitch. And because of the fact that Prophecy and Serpent and the Rainbow, both of these films, or all 3 of these films, tackle the subject for religion as it is a background. So you must have a little bit of knowledge in theology and Abrahamic religions, and you must understand what all of this ties into before you see it Therefore, you can at least say, okay, I can see why they're doing this. Okay, I can see why they're doing that. And if you don't have a background in Abrahamic religion, you're not going to be interested in it. If you don't give a shit about Christianity or Catholicism, you're going to be like, meh, no big deal. Meh.
Yeah.
And that's what these flakes are. No offense to the movie-going public. I love you. I really do. But a lot of people stay away from religious movies, no matter how cool they are. Legion should have been tons better. The studio fucked that one up. Very much agreed, Grumpy. But these movies have an element of religion in them that you must have at least a passing bit of knowledge for them to start at the credits for the opening for you to sit down and enjoy. And if you don't have the background in it, if you don't have an open mind, you aren't going to get into it. And here's where the problem is. There's a lot of people that they don't like religion. They don't like Christianity. They like religion. They like the religion of worshiping themselves or their ideas or their mindset, but they can't be open-minded and say, well, let me hear what this has to say, because they've already bought into paganism or into whatever ism they're into, and they don't have any time or acceptance available for this possibility that this movie might be real fucking entertaining, even if it is a little bit of a black eye for Christianity, which the Serpent and Rainbow really is. All those movies the chat will start talking about religious-based movies that are kick-ass, but they're cult favorites because none of them ever got any real money at the box office. And that's why I think Constantine was abstained from at the box office. People watched it. People saw it, not at the theater. They didn't give that money.
I saw it at the theater, and I thought it was phenomenal. Simply for the visual effects were just awesome. But I'm one of those people that went to see Passion of the Christ and bawled my eyes out.
That's the only Christian movie, and I'm going to say that, okay, Christian, Catholic, those two kind of go together, but that's the only movie that ever made real money since the Ten Commandments.
Yeah.
But the reason why that made all that money is you have this core group of people, 20 or 15% of America, 15% of America, and maybe 8% of Europe said, we're going to take our church to the theater and we're all going to watch it. And then the cool thing was the Passion of the Christ came out in March. And so everybody went and saw it. And then it ran the theaters for like 3 or 4 weeks. And then here comes James Gunn with the Dawn of the Dead 2004 movie remake. Not bad. It knocks out the Passion of the Christ. And every fucking celebrity influencer media piece of shit. Oh my God, James Gunn's Dawn of the Dead actually knocked out Passion of the Christ. Look at what's #1 in the theaters. A zombie movie beat up Jesus Christ. Oh, look at this. And they have that. But then here comes Easter, and what happens? Here comes Christ for a KO, and he knocks out Dawn of the Dead, and he reigned at the box office for like 5 weeks in 2004. So that movie was seen repeatedly by a small group of people, or they were like the group of people that we have right now. That for the movie that's still in the theaters, the Sound of Freedom, there's still people out there that bought tickets for somebody else to go see it.
I did. I bought 4 tickets for 4 other people to be able to see it.
You could go enjoy that movie probably on somebody else's dime right now, no matter where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wants to see it.
I hope so. And I know I've met like 20, 30 people on X that haven't seen it yet. So they say they want to, and then others say, well, I don't really want to see it because I know what it's about, and I don't want to see that. And I said, well, it's your choice,
It's your choice, exactly. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a lot of hate for people that don't like Christianity because I don't have to hate them. They hate themselves for me. And I know that sounds very anti-Christian, like I've never said I was a good Christian. I'm a shitty one. I'm a horrible Christian, but I'll deal with that when I get to the gates. I don't give a fuck till then. But I'm very much of the aspect of the mindset that these people that abstained from this movie, they wanted to see it until they realized it had a basis in theology, and that's something that they're scared of. They're scared of going and open up the Bible and see what's in it. There's some really cool shit in the Bible, guys. For you guys who don't like it, I know you're not going to listen to me now because I said I'm a horrible Christian and fuck you. But I will tell you that there's some really good stories, parables, passages in the Bible. And the weird thing is, if you open up the Bible, I dare you, chances are you're going to find the stuff you're looking for good or ill.
Yes.
But I will tell you that it's not me that's fearful. And I want people to see the movie Constantine because it is a fun popcorn movie. If you want to go see The Passion of the Christ, you're going to get blown away. That movie will like completely upset you because of what you see in that film. All the gore, all the anguish, all the suffering for 2 hours. And then it goes on for like 3 full hours, I think. It's a great film. Wonderful movie.
I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, even though I knew every character in the movie wasn't really the person, we know that wasn't Jesus Christ. We know that wasn't Mary. We knew that these people weren't real from the Bible. But the vision that it gives you to show you the suffering that these people went through and the joy that they went through too, to know there was something more for them in the afterlife type thing. All of that, it was just motivating and moving. Okay. So I cried my eyes out when I left because I felt like a speck of sand. I felt like what God sacrificed for me, and I'm just this little tiny speck of dirt. At least I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone else, but that's how I felt when I left. I just felt so privileged, just like what I said, and that's what came out very prominently to me as soon as Gabriel's character first started talking to Constantine's character about how humans are petty, self-centered, selfish, and they don't deserve the gift of a soul, to choose what they want because they don't know what's good for them. And who does that sound like? That reminds me of every big politician that's goes into a job that makes $100,000 a year. I know it always is related to politics for somehow, but you start your job, you get $100,000 a year, you're in there for 8 years, and you come out, and now you're a multimillionaire. Why is that? How does that happen? And that happens because of greed, dirty deals, or whatever else type of thing. So it's corrupt. And I feel the same way about anything. Overindulgence in anything is wrong. I mean, if you drink all too much and it causes you to not follow through with the responsibilities, then it's wrong. If you eat too much and you're not letting it let you do the things you're supposed to be doing with your responsibilities, and it's wrong. So to me, anything that you choose to do, if you do it and you do it over in abundance and it takes away from others, or it harms others, or it stops you from being the responsible person you were supposed to be because you have a dog or a kitty or chickens or whatever it is, and you're supposed to feed them and stuff, but you don't because you're so busy watching TV or just farting around playing video games or whatever it is you're doing, and you're not taking care of something that you brought into your home, and now they're hungry or they're being mistreated or left out in the rain because you were too busy doing something for yourself because you're selfish. That's wrong, and I see that way. And and I've been made fun of pretty much my whole life because of my vision or things that I see or I think should be done a certain way. But that's life. Some people don't agree with me, and those people aren't gonna want to follow my lead. Which is fine. And I'm lucky to have the choice, because was lucky enough to get to grow up in a country where I do have freedom, because I have been able to see other countries where they didn't have the same rights as me. So, I'm thankful for that. And it's sad to me that we have people in charge that want to take all that away and turn us into that country or that one.
They
tell us apart.
still want us to stay the same Christian conservative nation that we were back in the 1950s. Not that we were a great nation then, but we had people in Middle America that honestly believed that we were doing the right thing. And there was a period of time where we were on the right track. There really was. But somewhere around Operation Paperclip, America really fucked itself up. And we got in bed with somebody that really doesn't like America. And then worse yet, we gave the space exploration program to basically the Nazis. And we had a lot of their scientists here doing the same experiments. Conspiracy theory time, Gus Grissom was sacrificed while the belt of Orion was at 33 degrees up in the sky that night. You can go back and look at the charts. And there's people that were involved with the Nazis or the space program for the United States, the guys in head of charge of NASA, they were not exactly Bible thumping individuals. In fact, a lot of them were very much interested in the occult. There is some basis in the truth of things, guys. There's some stereotypes that are out there that are very scary and very real. Okay.
Off subject thought. My mind while I was watching Bruce, I was listening, but my mind thought while I was watching Bruce, could you imagine if someone had telekinesis and was a miniature painter like Bruce and I?
Be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you just pick up the paint at the exact amount you need and just lay it down perfectly.
It wouldn't be fun. Being a perfect painter would not be fun.
Well, it wouldn't be fun because you're not using your own skill. You know what I mean? You're not using your own hand to do it. You're using a power, a magical power. That reminds me a little of the TV show, The Boys. The writers of that hated superheroes. So they wanted to make superheroes the way they thought they'd really be, which is a bunch of assholes, because if you can snap your finger and get rid of all the dickheads that you don't like just because they looked at you wrong or they took your parking spot, you in no time there wouldn't be anybody left because you'd get rid of everyone. What kind of world is that if every single person was the same? If every person looked the same, acted the same, ate the same food, wore the same clothes? I mean, what a boring world we live in. I like being different. I mean, that's why I like doing what I'm doing right now. I like dressing up. And it was funny as I'm walking to Con the other day, and we had to park 4 blocks away, in this little parking area and scan our phone, the little square with the dots and stuff on it. And we're walking, and the person I'm with is dressed as magenta, and I was dressed up, as an Andorian, and people were turning their head looking, and they knew that, wow, look at those weirdos, where are they going? But you could tell by the look on their face, they didn't know what was going on or why all these people were all dressed up in weird clothes or whatever. But boy, as soon as you walked in, people were looking at you totally different, like, oh, can I get your picture? They loved it. It's because you're with like-minded people. You're in a whole giant building with a bunch of people that love nerding out, that love nerd stuff. And so it's like our Disneyland, it's like going to Disneyland, a giant place where everyone in there is just like you, and that's great, but only for a short period of time because it makes us special. Because there's only few of us. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if everyone was like us, would it still be fun? Would it still be different and unique? I don't think so. And I think that's what makes us all special, is that we all have so many different likes and dislikes, and getting to know each other, know more about each other, and becoming friends, and finding out, wow, you really like that, or oh my God, that's horrid. Why do you want to eat that? That type of stuff. That's what makes it fun, to have relationships with people, because you find out new things about someone, and you're not judging them for it, but you're intrigued by the difference between so many different people. And that's why I think it's great when you can get a group, hundreds and hundreds of people together to make a movie like this one we watched on Sunday, and put it together and have it be so wonderful, in so many aspects of it, to get to give you 2.5 hours or whatever, how long it was, of taking you completely out of your environment and putting you in their environment, and letting you see it and watch it unfold in front of you. To me, it's just, movie magic is just awesome to me, because every week you can be in a totally different land, in a different era, with totally different music in it, a musical or a love story, or a horror where you're screaming through the whole thing. I just think it's awesome. And I'm so thankful that I live in a time on this planet that I can enjoy great movies, and old movies, and then some of the new stuff. But, I'm not looking forward to a lot of the new movies, because I honestly don't trust the people anymore that Hollywood used to make some of the best stuff. I mean, it was just the best stuff. And independent movies are now basically where I look for entertainment, because when the money starts coming in, and the people that have the money start having say in what goes on, it just takes away from the creativity of it, and it ends up not being entertainment. That's how I look at it. But yeah, I love this movie. That was really good. So if anybody in the chat has seen this movie, and they want to kind of give us a score on what they thought of it, I would like to see.
I think this movie is fantastic. Review aggregator for website Rotten Tomatoes, the people that cheat the numbers. Mm-hmm. They hold an approval rating of 46% based on the reviews of 230 critics, with an average rating of 5.5 out of 10. The site's consensus state. Despite solid production values and an intriguing premise, Constantine lacks the focus of another spiritual shoot-'em-up, The Matrix. On Metacritic, which assigns a weighted average, it has a score of 50 out of 100 based on the reviews of 41 critics, including mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by the Cinema Score gave the film an average grade of B on an A to F scale. Richard Corliss of Time magazine says the film is one-of-a-kind hybrid, a theological noir action film. He cited Keanu Reeves' ability to retain his charisma in a weird, silly moment as proof that he is a movie star, and referred to Tilda Swinton as immaculately decadent. Corliss also praised a variety of camera placements employed by Francis Lawrence. He was, however, critical of the climax of the film, referring to it as irrevocably goofy. Ella Taylor of LA Weekly wrote, Constantine, which opts for the end of what I can only describe as a kind of supernatural humanism, is not without its spiritual satisfactions. Karina Chocano of the Los Angeles Times said that Keanu Reeves has no peer when it comes to playing these sort of messianic roles. He infuses them with a zen blankness and serenity that gets him through even the most unluckiest scenes with a quiet, unassuming dignity. Pete von der Heer of Film Threat gave the film 3 out of 5 stars, writing the film barely succeeds thanks to impressive visuals, the idea of an uncaring God wagering with Satan for souls, and 2 immensely enjoyable scenes, one with Weiss, one with Peter Stormare, in which Reeves actually plays his character as a cynical asshole he really is. I love Constantine for he is not Keanu Reeves in this movie. This is probably the one time, because in The Matrix, I never felt like he was playing anybody but Keanu Reeves. Neo might have been the character's name, but he was playing Keanu Reeves. In Constantine, this is his first mature role that I've seen him in. Now, he probably had another movie before this that he really acted in, but I didn't see that film. I saw this one.
Mhm.
And this is the first movie that I would actually say he played a really good character. And that was the start of the new Keanu Reeves, which we got, because after this movie, everything he did, he tried to prepare for. Now, mind you, the movie 47 Ronin, he really didn't try to commit suicide to see how it feels. He actually did take some swordplay lessons for that. He did take a lot more karate lessons, which he started, martial arts lessons, which he started with the Matrix 1 and 2. And
Mhm.
he did very well with those movies, but he didn't learn how to be a character actor until I think this film. 47 Ronin came out after this, and it wasn't until John Wick that we had the resurgence of, oh my God, I love Keanu Reeves. He's amazing. And that was most of America ages 20 to 40. I already
love
like
47 Ronin, but I
um,
love Kung Fu. I just love a lot of that type of martial arts type thing. So,
I agree with Film Threat that he really is this quiet little dude throughout this movie, just trying to get through these miserable scenes, knowing he's going to die of fucking lung cancer. Of all the
yeah.
ways to go out, it's lung cancer. Ugh. Sorry, dude.
Well, the thing is too that to me was his motivation that pushed him through each day was all he wanted to do was to make the demons pay, because he knew one day he was going to be right there with them. And since he wouldn't be able to do anything about it then, but he could do something now to send back as many as he could. I think that was part of his motivation. And then the fact that at the end, when he was just near death, and he said he wanted to give his self, to free her and let her go, so that he would go faster, so he would die quicker, so that he could leave with Lucifer. And Lucifer goes, so you're wanting to sacrifice yourself for her, or something like that? And he said, yes. So he was so excited about getting Constantine's soul that he wasn't thinking about what he just did. So when he decides he's going to take him with him, he starts dragging him by the collar, right, to take him to hell with him. And that's when he realizes he can't pull him, because he's going to be taken to heaven. So even he's moving the ground, pulling so hard on it.
Everything was chipping around him.
So then when he starts floating backward, going, remember he's flowing and he's going to heaven, and he's doing this. He's flipping on, he looks back at the devil and tells him, fuck you, I'm going to heaven. I got my wish. So now he's redeemed. So when he's given back his life, thanks to Lucifer, because Lucifer is so stubborn and doesn't want to give up that soul that he thinks is his and he owns it, that he takes his cancer out of him. Okay, and he says, you're gonna live. You're gonna live. I'm not letting you just go. So in a way, it was a win for God and for Constantine, because God got someone that's going to stay here longer and drive demons out, right, to protect humans and human souls, and give them a little more time to think about their actions, and maybe more of them will choose to go to heaven. And Constantine wins because now he doesn't have lung cancer anymore, and he ended up quit smoking. I thought that was really cool, because at the end, and you see him doing something, and you go around and he's putting a piece of gum in his mouth. I thought that was really good, because I used to smoke. I smoked. I think a lot of young people did, because it was cool and their friends did it, and you snuck them out of your mom's purse or whatever, because you wanted to be cool, you wanted to fit in or whatever. And it was just a dumb thing that a lot of us did. But I haven't smoked in a very long time, and I'm glad I quit when I did. And I know it sounds kind of hokey or whatever, but I really do enjoy those types of movies. Anything that has good character arcs where you see them changing. Even just like I said, I loved Deadpool. I love Wolverine. I love most of my characters that I love in comic books are all anti-heroes. Morbius, Deadpool, Wolverine, those are three of my favorites. And Ghost Rider, they're all a lot of them lean toward being bad boys, but they do good things. I don't know if that makes sense, because to me, maybe it's the human quality of that every one of us sins, every one of us makes bad mistakes, but a person that says, I don't want to do that again, I'm going to try to better myself, and works towards that is what I try to strive to tell people to do, to just try to, only you can do you, someone can come and help you and assist you or give you tools to do better, but only you can make that decision,
Yeah,
if you want to
Tony
lose
Robbins,
weight or whatever, you have to do it yourself. Do what? I'm sorry, Bruce.
you can go to all the Tony Robbins self-improvement speech seminars you want. You can do all of them. All of them. Hit every single one of them. But if you never put any of that in practice, you wasted your time and your money. And you
inspired me for a movie that I want to watch now. When you said Tony Robbins, I would love to do Shallow Hal. It's a good comedy.
Not bad. It's Jack Black though. That's the problem. I'm sorry. I look at Jack Black and I'm like, damn it. That
like
was
Jack
a failed
Black.
Abortion. Sorry.
I just love that
Jack Black
movie.
in
I don't
almost
really
everything.
like a lot of his movies, but I like that one. I like the story behind the story. So
the next movie we will watch for this, some of you know this from last night because you were there in the Discord, and that movie is going to be the Dune 1984 Spice Diver edit, which is 3 hours long, and looking forward to watching that. Let me go into the scores before we go into how we rated this movie.
mm-hmm.
And Grumpy Old Ninja, that's okay. Honestly, I presumed I missed you saying hello.
Wolfton Media, thank you for being in here and doing all the quotes and interacting with the chat. Your time was very well noted, and you didn't have to do that, but I appreciate you being here. If you're still in the chat or if you're still in the background, have us on. Thank you, sir. Good company, barbecue, and fuzzy navels help make the experience more enjoyable when the films aren't up to snuff. A fuzzy navel would have been nice.
Yeah,
Janet,
I haven't had a fuzzy navel in forever.
Either have I. I've never had a fuzzy navel.
Oh, they're so good.
I mean, I get one whenever I take off certain shirts. I get fuzzy navels. Janet says I
haven't had one of them in a long time either.
7 out of 10. It's good. I'd watch it. I have other films that hit all these notes that this film lacked. Yeah. Going through the chat here, looking for other people that had things, and that was from 6 Nation 31 Kings.
Yeah, I think he's the only one that actually rated it.
Say again?
I think he was the only one that rated it. Okay, Castle in the Sky. Okay, so I know which one it is.
All right. So I don't think I've ever had a fuzzy navel. I do like a zombie from time to time. They've got vitamin C and schnapps. Can't go wrong. Okay.
That's right.
All right.
Getting drunk off good
that
stuff.
immediately reminds me of the white man's cure for some fucking Asian disease. It was a South Park skit. Breathe, Timmy, breathe from the bag of vision.
Something we forgot to say about the movie was the fact at the very end of the movie, after Chaz dies, trying to save the girl from getting stabbed and having the son of Satan come out of her stomach, you get to see him on top of his own headstone as an angel. So I just wanted people that didn't know that was a pretty good part that I saw, because somebody was saying that wasn't in the movie, and I was like, I saw it at the theater, and that happened in the movie. I remember it, and
Well,
it did happen.
I was just that was me simply saying
Was that you that said that you didn't think it was
Yeah.
in there? That you thought it was in the outtakes or something?
yeah, I don't remember seeing that in my DVD copy, but
Yeah.
It's at the very end of the credits.
Do what?
The scene where Chaz turns into an angel, he flies off. That the last 30 seconds of the credits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like after the credits, like literally, it's a post-credit sequence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my dad always said there were Easter eggs. So they call them.
Yeah.
The present
Kinda hard if you think
for
about
you,
it.
the people that stayed longer in the theater. So I always sit and wait, almost for every movie. That's pretty good. That's the base for your Skeletor.
Yep.
Is it like a bobblehead because it wiggles around and stuff?
No, it's 3D printed. It's solid.
No, I mean when you set it on this thing, it doesn't wiggle. I just
It
moving
wiggles
it
a little
around.
bit. Hey,
Wow.
Kathy. Kathy's still here.
You got to expect that with 3D prints. Even resin kind of expands and contracts as it gets warm
Mhm.
and as it's being printed. So it's even if you like, I had to reduce them, it's both of them in size to make them fit on my plate. Well, had to reduce Skeletor in size and had to reduce the holder in size so it would fit in Skeletor. So I made them the exact number to make sure that they'd fit, but it unfortunately 3D printing isn't exact yet. So they were the same exact size, but they're going to be just slightly off to one another.
Crafting Gamer, before I ask you your score, did you ever see the movie called Apollo 13 with Kevin Bacon?
I want to say yes, but I don't remember much of it.
All right. If you ever watch that movie again, I just want to let you know that rocket science isn't precise either.
Fair.
If you watch that movie and you watch how they did everything, like you'll be surprised we did what we did. That's all I'm really going to say. But that is a fantastic film, and I want to know what your score is for this movie. However you rate it, but I want to know what you feel about it.
I'd have to give this a 7 out of 10. I really liked it, but there's a few things I have issues with. Well, like Janet says, that most of them I'd have to say come from editing. Because, like, for example, the one demon, if they had just reshot that so she didn't sound like it was personal, there wouldn't have been a problem. And I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. But there's a few other things that I do believe comes down to editing that really I have an issue with. But that's usually what I have the issue with, is little things like that. Like my one real issue with Tremors was they actually showed 3 Tremors when there should have only been 2.
Yeah, that's editing. That was editing. I remember that. You said 7 out of 10?
Yep.
Okay. Janet, where do you sit?
My score is 8 out of 10. And most of my 8 comes from because I absolutely loved all the special effects. I thought the special effects were above and beyond what I expected for a movie. And when I found out that the director used to direct music videos, then it started making I understood it, because I remember sitting for hours watching MTV and how awesome all the videos were and how much detail was put into it to cram in a very small amount of information in 3 minutes, basically for some of the longer videos. So I just thought it was really good. Now, the editing too is what I would blame for most of the mistakes that I found in the movie. I would blame on editing because they different things that they cut out to make it timely. Sometimes they cut out something they should have left in and cut out just air, dead air time, like when they're driving down the road. There's lots of things to me that they could take it a tiny second here, a second there out to give the 5 seconds you need for this other part. You see what I mean? But you know, hindsight's 2020. You know, we all can be, you know, cheer couch warriors or whatever and pick things out and say this, that, and the other. But we might have probably made the same mistake if it was us editing. So, but that's the only thing I could find is little things like that. I thought everything else was great. I thought they did the person who chose the actors for the parts did extremely well at picking characters for each part in the movie to fulfill their needs and to make the characters believable, especially with the character that works in the bowling alley. I thought for such a small amount of screen time and a short amount of lines and stuff that you actually cared about it when he died. You know, that is very hard to find in any movie, to where you actually are sad when that person dies and they're just a few seconds late, you know. I just like that. I just thought that was really good. And that to me shows how well written the script was for this part and the person they chose to put in it, with facial expressions and body motion, you know, things that they did, and the actual script put together made you love this person. So that's great. That's good acting. And wasn't he the same guy that was in 300?
Looked like it.
I think it was the same actor that was in 300 telling the story. I think it was the same guy. And he was also, wasn't he the same guy that was in Van Helsing and played the monk?
Yes.
Or the young friar? He wasn't a
Yeah.
monk yet. Remember, he was a friar. I just love him. I just think he's so good in every part that I've seen him in. I've not found a movie yet that I didn't like.
You're talking about David Winham, I believe.
Yeah, I liked him. I really like him. I think he's got excellent facial expressions to fulfill whatever it is that he's trying to get you to see. And I just don't think there's very many actors that have that ability. The gentleman that was in Galaxy Quest that wore all the costume makeup, he was the theatrical guy. What was his name?
Talking about
Snape.
Are
He played
you
Snipe. He played Snipe in the Harry Potter.
Yes, Snape.
Yeah.
He played Snape.
Uh-huh. That actor, he was one of them. He's one of the same type of people that
Alan
just from a
Rickman.
look or the way
Yeah.
he looked at you, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
When you look
Janet,
at another character,
I just found out that telepathy does not work because I just tried to put Alan Rickman's name in your head and you
Mhm.
drove right past it.
I'm sorry.
It's
I
okay.
see it now in the chat.
In the chat.
But yeah, I could not remember his name for nothing. I don't know why I do that. I do that a lot because I've got like 70,000 things all running through my head at one time, which is
I
my.
have weird tabs open.
That's just me. But if they were all naked, maybe it would be a little better. But they're not.
A little
But,
interruption.
yeah, I just like him. I think he's a phenomenal actor, and it's sad that he passed away. But he was one of those actors that he didn't even have to speak. Sometimes he could just look a certain way and make a facial expression or move his arm, like, you know, his hands and his face together, and it was all you needed because everything. He was just that good at showing you something on screen that was believable and made you love his characters. I just, you know, there's just not a lot of actors that can do that. But that young actor that was in that scene, and just him taking that little cow thing and tipping it over and making that facial expression, you instantly liked him. It was like you instantly bonded with his character. And that's not an easy task, I don't think, for an actor. So
Slight interruption. Grumpy Old Ninja. Despite what I said about resin, filament printers do the expanding and contracting thing even worse. And the resin printer is far superior for models because even with that, it gets way greater detail than a filament printer can, unless you're a filament printer wizard. Filament printer wizards, they can make filament look just as good as resin, and I have no clue how. I really don't.
So I'm excited.
Sorry, but I wanted to say that before I forgot.
Grumpy Old Ninja Kintaro says, I'm at 8 out of 10. 9 because this should not have been as enjoyable to watch, given how much it diverts from the source material. However, this movie holds up. And I feel that that is how I am very much going to describe my appreciation of the movie. I know this movie goes nowhere near where Hellraiser the comic goes. I get that.
Yeah.
But I understand that Keanu Reeves is he's lightning in a bottle. And it's weird because it took him to be a 50-year-old actor for him to be lightning in a bottle. And this movie is really just a good showcase of how he can play a character that is so very weary and tired, and just he approaches life with the same paternal as he does every day. And missing out on helping Chaz is, it probably hurt him in the end. But he's going to he's going to have a whole new group of issues to confront now that he's free from the cancer and he's free from all the other things that are going on with his body. And he has Lucifer to thank for all of that, which it kind of hurts me as a Christian to say that, but okay. I think this movie is a solid 75 out of 100. I'm not going to rate it a full 8 because there's a lot of parts of this movie that I watched and I was like, meh. And there were other parts that I thought were fantastic, like the holy water and the sprinkler system. Good job on you, Chaz. I thought this movie had moments of greatness, and other parts of the movie, I was painting this figurine right here I hold within my hands. And I was enjoying that time quite a bit. Will I watch this movie again? Now, here's the fun answer. I'm going to watch this movie again with friends, but I'm not going to do it sober. I'm going to do it with alcohol. And I would recommend anybody that likes a good time with their friends, put this movie on that list that you would watch with alcohol. And I think you're going to find it is a very good film. I can't wait for that time to happen. That's just how this movie shakes out. Before we start wrapping up the Crafting Gamer, is there anything you'd like to say about either Constantine or the movie Tremors?
Well, if you haven't seen either, they're both worth watching. And if you think neither are worth watching, then something's wrong with you.
Fair enough. Is there, I know recently you said on your YouTube that you were feeling just kind of burned out. You're having a hard time making videos, and
I'm getting close to burnout. I looked up, I was like, I'm not feeling it. And then I looked up the signs. It's like literally not feeling it, forcing yourself to do it, and of something else. I forgot what it was. Or some of the key signs of you're starting to suffer burnout. So it's like, I better cut back. Otherwise, I'm just going to stop making videos altogether.
Yeah, I think you should probably just kind of hang out for a minute and just see what good comes out of the things you've already done. You've got a lot of Robotech videos on your YouTube. For people that are not aware what Robotech is, years ago there was a Japanese cartoon series that was fantastic and fun to watch. And then some people at Palladium Books, they wrote role-playing game stuff for them. And our friend, the Crafting Gamer, right here, he has done the job of putting together really informative videos, all based on Robotech. That's what his meat and potatoes is right now. Let me put his link in the chat. There's also talk that this movie, Constantine, pales in comparison to the TV show Constantine.
That usually actually happens. I find that if you like the movie more, liking the movie more than the TV show is very rare, because usually the TV show can go into more depth and really explore the parts of the character the movie can't.
Mhm. Well, yeah, because you have more time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because you have hours and hours and hours, and the movie you only have a couple hours total.
Uh-huh.
But I haven't seen the TV series, so I have to say the movie was better because that's all I've seen.
Yeah.
And I'm excited now. I'm really excited about knowing that there's a sequel being made. I wonder if it's going to have Shia LaBeouf in it as the guardian angel or the archangel or the angel that comes down and
My
does things.
problem with this sequel is that so far I'm seeing J.J. Abrams is involved with it. So I'm going to have a Doomcock style absenteeism from the theater if that happens.
I like Janet's
I
look the
hope they
moment you
don't.
say that.
I mean, it would be so nice if they could just get as many of the original people involved to do it. So it has the same, it's like it is a sequel, an actual sequel to it, because it has so many of the same things pushing it. You know what I mean? But coming up with all new everything and just having a few of the same actors, it's just not going to be the same.
I
You know?
agree.
And that's what I hate about it. It's like taking, the Big Bang Theory season 1, okay, and then doing season 2 with all different writers and everything different. The apartment's different. Everything's different except the actors. It's not Big Bang Theory anymore. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's
I
what I
agree.
hope they don't. I hope they don't ruin it. They got a really good chance of making a really good movie, and I just don't want to see Keanu Reeves in a bunch of bad movies when he ended so well with John Wick. You know what I mean? He
Well,
stepped
okay,
down.
that seems to be the current prognosis, though, because we have Exhibit A, which is Nicolas Cage, Exhibit B, Bruce Willis. Both were known for their high points in action films in the 1990s,
Mhm.
and Bruce Willis just retired because he has hearing deafness in one of
Mhm.
his ears. And the last 8 movies he did were all immediately to digital, not even rental, digital, the new
Mhm.
rental, the new below cable. And then Nicolas Cage, well, you saw Willy's Wonderland, right? So if Keanu Reeves if he just puts up the acting scarf and he says, "I'm done for a while, let me age another 10 years and I'll pop back as Doctor Who." Oh, wouldn't you all be happy?
Mhm.
I think that would be a splendid. That would be splendid to see Keanu Reeves take on the role of Doctor Who. Sorry.
Mhm.
I honestly feel that he needs to take a break because otherwise he's going to be in 7 or 8 or 20 movies that are absolute dog shit, and I
Mhm.
don't want to see him in that.
Yeah, I
I
would
don't
like to see him try doing some other things with movies, helping get some young up and coming writers or something to help them see their movies or their stories made into movies, and work a little bit more behind the scenes, that type of thing. That would be really good, and use his skill that he's already proven he has and do it from a different angle and see what happens with that. I think that would be really good
I could
if
I
he,
could
if
buy
he
that for
wants
a
to do
dollar.
it. So,
I could definitely buy that for a dollar. I love
mhm,
Keanu. I think he's great.
mhm.
Now
In
Bruce
immortal
sees
words
a
of
few white
Skeletor,
streaks of
what?
Skeletor, and it's Skeletor in his golden years.
Mhm.
Renfield was the last good Nicolas Cage movie I saw. I don't know if you two saw Renfield or not, but that was
I haven't
entertaining.
seen it yet. No.
No.
Willy's Wonderland or whatever it was called. Is that what it was called?
Yes. Do
Okay.
you love that movie, Janet?
That movie really hurt me when it came to the wonderful person I love in a movie that I loved, which was Ghost Rider. I loved him in Ghost Rider. I have a huge movie poster of him, and I saw this movie, and it was so bad. After 10 minutes, I just had to turn it off. It's the only time I've ever done that. It was terrible. It was a horrible movie. What's so funny?
That movie really hurt me.
It did. It was sad to see him in such a terrible, horrible movie, and him so bad at. Even though I love him, I couldn't take it. I couldn't watch it. It was so terrible. How many of you watched that movie? Did you like it?
I have never
I've
seen
not
it.
watched it yet, Janet.
You haven't watched it?
I will have to pick it on a week where there's nothing picked yet, knowing that you will absolutely drive to San Antonio with the explicit intent to strangle me.
I hope you never choose that movie because it is so bad. I don't know if I can make it through it. I just was so disappointed. I was really let down when I was like, what is going on? This is the worst thing I've ever seen, especially with somebody. And you could tell they had money. You know, it wasn't because of the money. It was because the story was shit. I mean, it was just shit. It was terrible. Has anybody in the chat seen that movie? I want to ask what anybody in the chat.
Nerdy Ogre says it was a decent movie.
Who?
Nerdy Ogre says it was a decent movie. I hope he's not talking about Willy's Wonderland.
Are you talking about Willy's Wonderland? Nerdy? Say yes or no.
Nerdy
He said yes,
Ogre
not his greatest, but it was decent. It was terrible. It was horrid. The kids were the best part of the whole movie. I mean, honestly, that was it. Nothing else was memorable. It was just crap.
I've never in my life had snot pile out of my nose as I started laughing like I just did. I just had to have a makeover moment because Janet.
Nerdy Ogre says no.
Okay.
No what?
I don't think he's talking about
Willy's Wonderland. That movie.
Oh, he wasn't talking about that movie?
No.
Oh, you guys, just before that, you were talking about Renfield, so that might be what he might be a little bit
Renfield
behind.
was good.
Yeah, Renfield, I guess. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm telling you, that movie was bad. So I want to hear what each of you thought when you guys go see that movie. If you choose to spend 25 cents and watch that movie, whatever it costs, 2 cents or whatever.
Janet,
I wouldn't pay a penny for it.
Oh, he was talking about Ghost Rider
right now, and we could watch it tonight.
It's terrible. And the Ghost Rider was great. I loved it. And I've got a lot of Ghost Rider comic books.
I've seen both Ghost Rider films.
I think I got a Ghost Rider, or at least a comic book with Ghost Rider in it somewhere. Yeah, Ghost Rider 2 wasn't that good.
No,
it was still better than Willy's Wonderland or Wonder World or whatever.
When Janet said that movie hurt me, I couldn't help it. I snotted into my arm.
Well, I wasn't trying to make you laugh. I was just telling you how I felt because I've said it. I don't know how many million times. I know you've heard me say that. It was heartbreaking to see Nicolas Cage in such a bad, terrible movie.
When was that movie made, out of curiosity?
2 years ago.
Recently, it looked like recently to me.
It's terrible. It's that kind of bad, but it was made recently.
Yeah, it was made recently, I think. I don't know how old it is, but it didn't look that old. But they had money because it looked like they used good film. They had good sets, halfway decent sets, I guess. It was just shit. And the writing was shit. I don't know who wrote the script, but it was terrible. It had no consistency or the only scene that was halfway decent that I saw in the 10-15 minutes I watched it before I just had to turn it off was the kids at the party. And it was just it was horrible. It was just a horrible movie.
We're talking about a movie that Janet watched and she
No, I
she
didn't
never-
watch it. I watched like 15 minutes and then I turned it off because it was terrible. It was a terrible movie. It was not worth my time to sit there. I would rather go watch paint dry on the wall than watch that. It was so bad. It's terrible. I mean, it would make me want to take a ice pick and gouge my eyes out. It was
Yeah,
terrible.
I've seen one movie that came not quite that bad, but did come close. The
Oh,
movie I mentioned at one point called Voodoo, and it's
I
I
don't think
kind of
I've
want to
seen that
force
one.
I kind of want to force you two to watch it at some point, but that means I'd have to sit and
Oh,
watch it too, and I don't
so you
want
want to
to.
torture us then?
Yes,
See, that would be torture.
I had to
If
sit and
was
watch
to-
that movie, and I want to make you two do it too.
If
So that
I
means
was
I'd
to
have to
make
suffer through
all
it
of
again.
you guys have to watch that Willy's Wonder World, you guys would never want to speak to me again. I swear. It is so bad. It is a terrible movie. Absolutely terrible. I mean, I've never walked out on a movie before. There was a movie I watched with Mel Gibson. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll look it up. But I watched it and I had friends get up and leave. They thought it was so bad. And I thought it was halfway decent. I mean, like what Nerdy was saying a while ago. But this movie, it was one of the ones I would have got up and left. If I was at a theater, I would have said, holy crap, I can't believe I paid to come in here. So it was bad.
Yeah,
But I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming tonight. I really am thankful because without you guys, we don't have a show.
There is there is a promise. If we ever do Willy's Wonderland, I will pay Garrett extra money to sing with me the theme song of Mystery Science Theater 3000 at the start, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get Janet to watch that movie.
Oh,
It's if we riff it.
I'm gonna have to turn it on and off and get me food and bunches of alcohol or whatever, something. Put an IV on me.
and then the
Give me
next
some
Monday,
laughing gas from the dentist or something to help
and
me
then the
get through
following
it. because-
Monday we have a Junk Janet stream.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I don't know if I could sit and watch the whole thing. I mean, I'd
Paramedics
rather
today
watch
arrived
it.
at Janet from Another Planet's household, only to find her unresponsive with 40 bottles of vodka near her unresponsive corpse.
Yeah,
7-Eleven.
that's little bottles, those little bitty chuggers. You know, those.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be doing, chugging those things. I tell you, so I wouldn't be numb from here down. Because it's bad. It's bad. I mean, I haven't met one person. I don't know anyone that in person that I've met that's ever even watched it. So
I've never even heard of it. My library doesn't have it.
that's
why I
why,
watch it.
because it is so bad. If I was Nicolas Cage, I'd want to buy every single movie that's out there and have them destroyed. If I was that rich.
Isn't that what George Lucas did with the holiday special? That is what George Lucas did with the holiday special. He bought.
That's what Disney tried to
copies.
do with the Family Guy parodies. At least that's my understanding. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but that's my understanding.
I actually could see Disney doing that.
The internet says a lot of things, but usually Disney, they're not far off from reality, sadly enough.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Well, I'm almost done with this guy. Let me
Nice.
take
It's looking really good, Bruce. You've done a great job.
Yeah, no offense. I prefer the color choices I used for mine, but I think yours looks amazing as well.
Oh, I wanted to show the crafting gamer this. Look at this.
Ooh.
You see that earring?
Oh, yeah.
My daughter bought me these when we were at the
Nice.
con. There, you see? Look, I got the little D20s, right?
Nice.
That's what they're called.
So I'm gonna wear them when next time we game. Maybe
Nice.
they'll give me some luck with my dice because my dice suck.
Yeah, when I finally get that box and send it to you, I'll probably send you a couple pieces of jewelry I made. One of the things I like to do
But
is make jewelry.
that's what I told Bruce. I said, your whole channel's around gaming. You could sell jewelry for women, with this kind of jewelry, and you could sell, figurines. I would sell my figurines on here. I might do that. I might make some art, some type of art that I can sell on my channel.
I'll
some
be
of my
selling
pictures.
not these on the desk of shame aren't finished yet, but here's prices. A character like this, which has a 28 millimeter base or 25 millimeter base, this guy is going to run for about $8 because I didn't really go into detail on him. However, if we're going to talk about this character here, which I did spend some time on, and he's got his little cart, and you can see all the various things I try to add there. That guy's going to run $20.
Yeah.
Giants that I've done in the last 6 months are going to be going for 30.
Yeah, that's look how good that is.
Well,
That's
with what
so
you can see on
nice.
my picture, what do you think my wyvern's worth then, Bruce?
Your
I
wyvern,
got someone who might be interested.
I would sell it for no less than 75.
Oh, that's more than I would.
Yeah, but see,
said,
you
so,
just got to get some good pictures of your stuff and start putting it in your store. I really think it. I mean, people come to your channels because of what you do and what they see you doing. And once you get a few people to buy them and they get them at home and other people see them that they have it, it's just like all these collectibles. People were walking out with bagfuls of stuff at con, and every time I see that, I'm like, I don't see why most of my friends that are on YouTube that are, geeks and gamers or whatever type people aren't selling those types of products. Because if you've made it and they've watched you over time making things, it's a personal piece of you. You know what I'm saying? I think it's awesome. I would want to buy something like that more than I would go to the mall and buy something that's from, a printed out thing that somebody just printed out. These are handmade, hand sculptured or hand painted, items. I just think that's like really cool. And if you don't sell one, you don't sell anything. It doesn't hurt anything. You just have it listed.
Look at this.
Yeah,
guy.
I don't have the new. Sorry.
I love his orb in the middle of his chest, the stone. I mean, it looks awesome. I like it.
I don't have the new camera up because the internet, the browser wouldn't accept it. I think I got to play with my settings, but it's kind of hard to see from a distance. But this is a pirate I painted.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. The thing is that's what people come to your channels for. That's what I would definitely want them to see.
Hold that one. Hold it back up there, Crafting Gamer.
Okay.
Yeah, see?
How tall is that thing? How tall is she?
This one would be giant sized at 60 millimeters, but that's because someone suggested, hey, if you're gonna go ahead and 3D print stuff, go ahead and make them on the bigger side so they're easier to see on camera. I got a couple of smaller figures for scale.
You printed that one off?
Yep.
Wow. See, you did a great job.
Very good job.
And then also what I would do is if I was going to have a once a week where you like highlight a few of your pieces and you talk about the work that you did and how you printed it out, what colors you purchased, all that stuff, to get people to understand what type of 3D printer you have, what you specifically bought it for, what type of things you're going to use it for, and then show actual stuff that you did make, and then say, this one's for sale, this one's for sale, and this one's for sale, and tell them how much it is, and have a video about it. And I think it would be really good. I mean, I don't see why I can't believe that Bruce wasn't already doing something like that already.
No, the only reason I'm not is, wasn't. I ain't going to see about doing it because I actually like painting enough that it's something I'll do prolifically. But in the case of the leather, because I love making with leather, but it takes so long, I don't do it prolifically. I can't just whip out a bag real quick because I do scrap leather mostly, and it has to be made in pieces. So it takes me weeks, if not a month or more, to make a simple leather bag, because I also have a bit of ADHD, so I don't
it's got
stay
to be
focused very
perfection.
long.
Yeah,
that
but
doesn't
see, the
help.
thing is, both of you already have a good collection already up. So what I would do is I'd go through your collections once you have multiples of, and pick out some of the multiples and start just taking pictures and stuff of those. And those are the first ones that I would put on there just to see what happens. I mean, what's it going to hurt?
Well,
It's not going to
selling
hurt
season is
anything.
starting to come up, that's for sure. People are
So,
going to start wanting stuff for Christmas and all that. So
yeah. And who wouldn't, anyone that's been watching you for a while, been a member of your channel for a while or whatever, those are probably going to be the first ones that will say, hey, this is really cool. I saw them work on this, 2 years ago or whatever. I want to get that one, that type of thing. So, but you got to start someplace.
Yeah.
I'm always suggesting stuff every time he does a stream or I'm on it or anything. I see stuff. I'm like, wow, I would sell those. I would, you put a lot of effort into it, and don't undercut yourself. Get online, look at other people's work for sizes and what type of details on it. And then make sure you price yourself where it's reasonable.
Yeah. I do have a tendency to undervalue myself as someone what puts it, like overcritical. But as I was telling Bruce, in the case of my painting, I'm not that overly critical of my own work, and because I've seen paint jobs online that people are selling for ridiculous amounts of money, at least as far as I'm concerned, for what is an absolute garbage paint job. Like, even compared to my inexperience, it's like that. How do you make money off that? How I'd buy that to strip it and that's it, and you're selling it for a buy and play price. So it's like, so I learned very quickly that my painting is not that bad compared to what is out there. But usually I'm very critical of my work, admittedly. Like, I made a quiver for my cousin, and I started pointing out the mistakes I made on it. She's like, stop doing that.
Oh, look at this. This is a great idea. With each mini that you sell, come up with a backstory to go with it. I think people would really go for that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
What made you choose that piece? Because Bruce, when you're buying your pieces, you're already buying them. They're already made. You're not printing them out on the 3D printer, right?
There's a reason for that, and I know it sounds lame.
No, I mean, there's a story behind it. That's what he's saying. He's saying, take the story behind why you chose certain pieces and add that to the reason and what choices you do when you pick the colors for it and things like that. That's all intricate stuff. And person that's looking for a piece like that, like the piece that you're holding in your hand, a person that would see that and be interested in that would like to know the origins behind it. See? That makes perfect sense.
This actually comes with a backstory. I chose a backstory. It's easier for me to paint if I do a backstory. Like this sucker. This one is not going to Bruce. I'm quite happy with this one, but I'm going to print one of these to give to Bruce. I don't mind telling you because A, you're going to purposely forget, and B, you're not going to be too worried about it. But this is a golem that is going to, once I send it to Bruce, wipe half the party. Because I'm going to let Bruce choose the stats because I don't know about enough of the game to do that. The golem's half wipe ability will come from the fact that it is actually not immune, but half resistant to all forms of magic, and that includes passive magic, such as the fact that Grog is the size of a giant because he has magical effect on him. He'll do half damage. Chance's gravity bow, which technically is not a direct magical attack, it just makes a bow do extra damage. It'll only do half damage because it's magically affected. And the golem will kill half the party with that kind of an effect.
With the system we have, Pathfinder, golems are automatically immune to any spell that allows for spell resistance as a stopgap. Anything that has a spell resistance, in the spell description, that spell will not affect the golem. And then for each individual golem, There are certain spells that will affect them, but they are there for a reason like that.
Well, his is supposed to take a little bit further, and even ancillary magic, like not ancillary, like side magic, like what happens with Grog. Like I said, it only does half damage because it's considered a magical effect overall. And to keep, let's see if you can see the chain on the back. You can kind of see it. To keep the party there, the golem is covered in treasure. Like if you look inside his mouth, there's actually gold in there. See if I can get a good angle. Yeah, you can kind of see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's meant to be like, I know you aren't, Janet, but there's plenty of players in Bruce's game that are super greedy. Like there's an emerald in two of his knuckles and in one of his knees. There's a ruby with a golden chain off his back. There's plenty of pieces that are painted with silver, so they look silver, not just metallic. There's one unique arrow that I put in its body, which is supposed to be a magic arrow. Like there is plenty of reason for the players to stick around. I just don't know if they're going to want to if with a golem that. Oh yeah, Bruce said he likes 28 millimeter. See if there it is.
25 preferably, but that's just me.
Oh, 25. Well,
yeah.
This right here is a 28 millimeter figure that's next to the golem.
Typically, everything's
sold by huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, the golem is huge or at least large. These
well,
figures
I just
25 to 28. That's heroic scale now. We really like the scale, but back in the day, you get little 15 millimeter stuff, and I just can't run a game with 15 millimeter. It's good for wargaming. That's about it. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not my preference. We're almost done with the Skeletor. I am going to frock a little bit of the Castle Grayskull base. I think I went a little different on direction because I wanted to go for the dynamic light sourcing. I didn't really. I need to hit the cloak with that as well, but we'll see how that turns out. I've not done. This is a hell of a piece to experiment with, but I'll try it. I'll definitely try it.
Grumpy Ninja, thank you for the nice earlier. Sorry, I forgot to say something.
Yeah, this is a great fig. I really like this figure quite a bit for reasons.
I'm still on the main screen.
My bad. There you are.
Sorry, I was looking at my message.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's good. You did such a good job on that, Bruce. The skull is phenomenal.
I like Bruce's shading. Mine came from a zenithal treatment, which is just from an up angle, so it's an all around lighting. I think I like Bruce's a little bit better over the fact that it actually has an angle.
And the fact that he did the outline of the gold trim around each piece.
I'm so jealous of that.
It stands out. It stands out.
I wish I had thought of that when I did mine. I didn't though.
You're good. You're good. I'm just barely a journeyman painter on this. I'm still an apprentice on a lot of aspects. Like I need to really do a better job on the gold there. I really think I could have done a better job there, but I'll go back over it with probably a dry brush.
But see, because of doing it that way, you're making it a one of a kind. You know, as long as you don't paint the next one exactly the same way, there'll never be another one like it. You see, that's what makes it so cool. It's a one of a kind. That's what's good about doing the when you're doing it yourself, when you're crafting it from your home instead of just going and buying a box full of stuff that was printed on a machine through a factory, and they make hundreds and hundreds of boxes a day, and then using those. I'm not saying that's not good, but the fact that it's a handmade item and one of your fans that watch you and you make something like that, it's a part of you. You see what I mean? So when they buy it and take it home and put it on their shelf, it goes in their collection because it's a piece of you.
I love how he did the red stone. His red stone is
I love the stone too. It really stands out, and it looks eerie and scary at the same
That redstone
time.
is just two coats of
Mhm.
that's out of reach right now, but
Yeah.
a particular color from Army War Painter, just two coats of it.
Okay.
I like
Right.
them.
I really like your work. I mean, I like the choice of the blue you have for the skin tone, and the
That
way
was
you
actually a mixture of, I think it's like, oh, hold on, I actually have that one easy, Rach. See here, Sailboat Blue from Ranger Alcohol Inks, and a little bit of, also from Ranger Alcohol Inks, a color called Bottle.
Okay. Then we've
3
got
drops of the blue and 1 drop of the green, and I got that blue.
I've got the base here, and this base I think looks really phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
The base is just a plaid bone or whatever it's called from the Army Painters for the skull, and the main color for the rest of the base is alcohol ink. I think also from Ranger. Shadow Gray.
Okay.
But it's got a shimmer to it, like it's moist, like in a basement.
I,
Well, that
I
was
just,
because-
sense.
I just added a coat of clear
See,
coat
I-
polyurethane satin varnish.
Yeah, I didn't make the coat. I put on it thick enough, and it started chipping. Apparently, I need more
Oh.
than 1 coat. I just got a hold of this stuff. I got a hold of it for free on top of that. I probably should have read the can better. I'll bet it'll say add 2 coats.
You did good, dude. You did good. I love the way this guy come out. I think you did really good with your Skeletor. And another thing, the only thing I would have done differently with yours is I would have tried to get more black at the back of the hood. That way somebody doesn't try to use a flashlight and see what's back there and sees like veins or sees bits of like I really like just going with the absolute black in the back.
Yeah, that I tried to, but I didn't want to make the primer too thick. So I went back in with an alcohol ink, and that kind of worked, as you could see, but also kind of didn't, because after I came back in with the white spray paint, for some reason the alcohol ink went kind of less black. It was weird.
Well, you did very good with that Skeletor. I really commend you on your paint job on it. The bust came out really good. Your printer is a success.
Well, it's 10,000 times better than I could do. I can tell you right now. I thought I was never going to get those 2 little ones, and they're only like this big. You know, they're tiny. It was 2 Venom agents that I touched up to make them look like Deadpool and Ultron, to put in that multi-picture that I made.
Yeah.
All the different characters in the group, and then I put them in a shadow box together, and I wanted each character underneath of the one I made in the rhinestones.
Yeah.
So I'll have to
6
put that in
inches,
your Discord, Bruce.
Okay.
I'll post that video in there of that one
pretty
that I
cool.
did.
6 Nations, 31 Kings. As far as I know, it's not. I know for a fact the Army Painters aren't. As for the alcohol inks, I'm pretty sure they're not, but I got them from a thrift store, so I didn't get the instructions with them. I just got them as bottles.
It's almost 10:40. We are at the cusp of 3 hours, and as much as I enjoy talking with my 2 guests here, Janet is almost at allergy 30.
Yeah, I'm already been stuffed up for the last 30 minutes.
I'm sorry.
I started sniffling. Hey, and I even took an extra pill right before we started, so I can't help it. My eyes are itchy and I get stuffy.
All right. Crafting Gamer, thank you for coming on. Thank you for accepting my apology, and I kick me in the head next time whenever we've got a movie that you specifically paid to have us watch, and then we don't bring you on stream. Kick me in the head, like I said. Tell me in the middle of the stream. Even call me out, Bruce. What the fuck's going on? Why am I not up there with you? You could do that. I give you permission. Anybody permission.
I will.
Yeah, because we forget. You know, we're excited. I'm always spending the whole day thinking about what I'm going to wear and making my promo video to put out.
Yeah, well,
So,
admittedly, I just presumed Bruce was on some sort of schedule and was like, okay, no offense, Crafting Gamer, I can't time wise afford to have you on tonight. So
no,
I'm
sure he
presumed
just
he
forgot
had
like I
time
did.
restraints.
We will be back next week, Sunday night, be in our
Mhm.
Discord for the viewing of the Spice Diver Edit 1984's Dune. Be there for 3 hours. If you have popcorn, that would be appreciated. We will do a 5-minute intermission in the middle of a movie. That way you guys can get all your flow taken care of and restock on your drinks. And then Monday we will do the review of the 1984 Spice Diver Edit, which is a different version of Dune than what you've seen before, more than likely. Janet, would you like to take us out of the theater?
Like, what do you mean?
The final word, miss.
Oh, just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for joining us. We really, really appreciate you for sticking with us and letting us do what we love and talk about movies. And we're glad that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it.
Really, thank you, and good night.
Night, everybody.
Go to